Whoops. Excuse me, guys. I don't know what's going on in this world anymore. And I got Satoshi Boulevard in the background, and he also has no idea what's going on. But we're going to put our brains together and figure out what's going on because everyone's getting rug pulled right now. There was 24.5 value dollars locked in the Terra Luna system as of 11 days ago. Are you guys kidding me? And people online are still telling you to long that shit, and it can go down another 100%. Like it's nothing. It's just exit liquidity at this point. This is I'm only been in crypto for 14 months as far as paying attention. This has been the most wild course of events that I've ever seen in that 14 months. I'm seeing people, their true colors are coming out. The furus are freaking out. The people that lost money want to die. This is real money. People got real kids running around. You know what I mean? Like real human babies. And they're losing all their money. Some because it's their fault, some because they're getting led astray. But in general, I'm just going to punch through all that. And we're just going to dominate. We're going to figure out what's going on today. And guess what? Arbitrage, inside jobs, centralized dictatorships, stable coins. We're going to talk about them. Right to the banks, baby. They're going to shut our shit down if we don't do this exactly right. I'm telling you, bro. Like, it's just crazy shit, guys. Tune in. Don't forget, we're doing a 24-hour launch for Pulse Chain, a live stream. It's going to be absolutely lit. We're going to be having people come in whenever they want. Chill. It's going to be sick, guys. Check the video out. Check this music video out. I'm freaking out.
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker.
Richard Heart. Richard Heart.
Bought my hex from the fucking start. Point one every day we mark. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the hex, he is mooning. Looking at wives they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pro chains out, now get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died, collect. Hex I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
Oh, shit. I didn't even know you joined yet, my guy.
What's good, my G? That shit got me lit.
Dude, tell me that song ain't lit AF. It's kind of brainwashed Saitama vibes, but I love it.
Yeah, that beat is hard.
What's up, Toshi? How you doing, man?
What's up, boyo? Chilling.
Playo, checkup. Are you good? We don't know what you're invested in. Obviously, we don't know your life, but like everything good over there. We know there's a lot of men.
Yeah, man.
In this world.
Thankfully, everything's good. Yeah, well, believe it or not, I was invested a bit into Luna, and it's crazy, man. Like I didn't have a lot in it, so it was like a very little amount, but I did put a little bit when I was learning about the project. So I put money in. I used ANC. I used Anchor Protocol. I did the whole nine, maybe like a couple thousand. Which right now I still have it there sitting. I haven't really touched it because for me it's not really like a main investment. It's just like a diversification, I guess, if you would even want to call it that. But it was one of the only other protocols I had my eye on, to be honest. And it's pretty crazy that it ended the way it did. And then now looking into how Richard's talking about it, the community's kind of referencing it. I mean, I have no problem with having invested in it to begin with because it was my personal decision. But there's a lot of learning opportunity, whether you invested in it or not. There's a lot to learn from what happened. So I'm pretty.
So, boy, is that a Star Atlas shirt, bro?
It is, bro. I got this at the F1 event with FTX on the grid. Feel me?
I'm
God
so
damn,
sponsored.
you're rolling dirty. Like you're rolling dirty.
It's
down
not a
there, like,
sponsored
back
shirt.
on
I knew you were
F1
gonna say
events and
something. I
shit.
feel like a gamer right now. I feel like I'm like promoting something,
You
but I'm
look
not.
swaggy, kind of.
Thank you, homie. I
Like,
appreciate it. But yeah, I'm not promoting anything. This is just a shirt that I got, and I was like,
Oh,
fuck it,
I
Were you at the F1 races?
got shipped
yeah, I went to
steaking,
the F1
bro.
race, bro.
No, you didn't, dude. That is
I
so
did.
sick. Bro.
It was fucking amazing, bro. It was super good. It was
Pissed
really
at you,
fun, bro.
literally.
Over 280,000 people in Miami. I've never seen that many people in one place. It was
DJ
really,
Khaled
really,
was
really good.
up in that bitch just on the fucking track. It was wild.
Yeah, not 280,000 people
It
at
was
one time, but
crazy.
throughout the weekend, that many people came. The races were phenomenal. I mean, it was just really, really good. Logistically, it was a nightmare though, because everything was so far, bro. This campus was over 2 miles long, like from one end to the other. So you were just walking the whole fucking day. Like,
So
yes, the
basically,
race is an
chatting and
hour.
drinking.
That and drinking, bro. Oh my god, bro, drinking like crazy.
Chatting
Dude.
and
We were drinking
drinking.
margaritas, Red Bulls. Had a great. No, it was a great time though. I had a great time. Thanks for asking, though, Maji. I appreciate it.
Guys, okay, so a top 10 crypto. We're going to talk about a couple things today. We're going to talk about stable coins. One, we're going to talk about we're going to talk about the market right now. Hex is at 12.4 cents right now. I mean,
What
12
is it?
cents, something like that. Someone just popped it up. So, guys, just remember, this is actually serious stuff in general. I'm not necessarily worried for myself because I'm fucking broke pleb anyway. I don't give a fuck. But you know what I mean? Like, there's grown men with families and businesses. Everyone's in a different position, guys. And I just want you to understand, like, maybe I'm a little loose about this because I'm not balls deep in all this shit yet. But you got to understand, I know grown men that have been hit hard by stuff like this, and they will think about killing themselves. And it's for real. Because if you lose $1 million for your family and they look at you in the morning and just say, what happened? And you're just like, oh, Daquan rug pulled me. They're going to be like, who's Daquan?
Yeah.
Like,
It's a tough situation. You feel me? And look, I don't by no means do I want to undermine like what's happened across the world, because like, let's be real, like during the pandemic, a big topic no one talked about, I feel like, enough, was mental health. And it sucks because a lot of people are struggling from things other than this. And so I can imagine where, you have some people who are maybe coming off of this event and now getting hit financially like this. Maybe honestly, bro, I don't know about you, but I think we were talking about it last week. Like, I did pretty well throughout the pandemic. I didn't really get hurt per se, but all those people who saw all that success, a lot of it was just like erased within the
it was
past
either like you
few
were
weeks.
Successful and it made you more successful just by the nature of the beast, or your business was completely in complete cahoots with that specific thing and you just lost everything. So guys like me were making unlimited amount of I had a business at the time, unlimited amount of money.
Oh, and I can imagine the people in South Korea, bro. You know their the Chai app, right? Chai. Okay, so they have a payment processor called Chai. You mind if I share my screen?
Yes, sir. Please, both of you, for the rest of the show. My computer's completely effed, so I won't be sharing my screen. If you want to pull up anything, please.
I got you.
How do I share my screen, bro?
So at the bottom in the middle, it says Share Plus, and then it'll ask you what tab. You just click it.
Oh, nice.
And then I'll
as
pull it
smart
up.
as I am, bro.
It's the easiest things that are tough for you guys. Trust me. This is dumb proof, and you guys look right through that.
All right, it's called Chai. What's a Chai payment?
So while you're looking that up, Bitcoin dropping under 28K at some point. Ugh.
I mean, that, so I don't know if it's pure luck or the fact that like I don't tend to move greedy. So like when I see things that have mooned, I don't like hold out waiting for that super moon. I usually will just like start taking profits and moving them into something that is a better floor. I'm always looking at the floor, because you always need to know who's under you, and you need to be able to trust who's under you, or at least know where their greed levels are, where they're going to start to take profits. And that's why I like Fibonacci. Fibonacci and fractals together, it's like I could see it coming a mile away. But with Bitcoin, and Richard has said this a number of times, like that 85% dip, like that's how I've been since day one. And it's fun. I think that's how I found Richard Hart. So I was doing a lot of like research into Elliott wave principle at the time, because how I found crypto to begin with was through mathematics. Like it was the mechanics of mathematics. I took a course. Actually, I didn't take the course. Somebody I knew from high school, because I'm a college dropout. Somebody I knew from high school needed help with their mechanics mathematics course, and they were like, "Yo, you're good at math. Help me with this course." And I ended up taking it with them, and the information blew my mind because it showed how math worked, like pigeonhole theory, Mandelbrot sets, like everything, right? And that was really what brought me to fractals. And fractals, ever since I discovered them, that's all I look for. And one day I was trading. I was on a stock group, like a stock signals group, and somebody said, "Oh, this just broke a fractal." I'm like, "That's my favorite word, bro. What are you talking about? And why are you talking about it? Like it's like price, like something having to do with price." It's like, yeah, price fractals. I was like, "What?" So,
oh shit! You had like a moment where you were like,
at a
like
moment,
math connects with.
I literally like DM'd them. I'm like, "You need to show me this shit right the fuck now."
That's me to everyone in Hex. I'm just like, what do y'all know?
Yeah, so he showed it to me, and then I started comparing it to Bitcoin, because I was already invested in Bitcoin, but I didn't understand. Like, I knew Elliott wave principle was 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. It's still 1 step ahead. It's basically the mathematical concept of it, right? And if you think about it, like that 85% dip that always happens, that's like you're 2 steps back, but it's always still 1 step ahead, because it's, we don't, when it's lower lows, we know that's bearish. When it's bullish, you still have that little bit of, stuff on the top.
Is it just fair to say that 90% of the people that speak about these matters, not 90% of the economic mass, but 90% of the people that speak on these matters on the internet are just generally people that have absolutely no clue, nor do they care, but they're just pushing some sort of brand as far as whatever business they're associated with?
Yeah, either that or they're ATR guys. The average true range, like our average true range.
I've never heard that one.
Yeah, me either.
So
that sounds funny though.
So and when it comes to trading, it's like it's binary, right? You're either like a fractal guy or your average true range. Average true range is basically you're looking for the percentage average of how much the range, how large the range is, right? So if it went like Bitcoin went from 3,500 to 20,000. That range has a percentage. And that range and ranges are prevalent throughout Bitcoin's history. So those ranges are measured and averaged out. And then there's a parameter given to you called ATR. That's average true range. How often something runs and how long it runs for, the percentage it usually goes. So when you're trading, especially in the stock market as a day trader or anywhere day trading, average true range guys are looking at it. All right, I have a 3-to-1 ratio trade, so I can get a 3x out of this if I go in now. And they're basing it on average true range. I base all of my stuff on fractals, and people call me crazy, but I like to know my extreme ends, because those extreme
That's like technical analysis.
Can you explain this? Because I want you to understand something, Satoshi Boulevard. You're in a microcosm of absolutely genius intellectual power, and you don't necessarily understand that not everyone in here, a lot of people are just at work and shit. So like they're just not knowing exactly what we're talking about. Why don't you pull up a little something, just like a couple minutes of fractal? What's a fractal for a normal random person, and how are you using that to just look at the market? Is kind of what you're saying from a whole.
Did it work?
Yes, sir. No. So when you do that in general, then
let me stop sharing.
So never worry that it will pop up.
All right, let me get rid of this trash. Actually, you know what's funny? This thing, like that looks like an impulse Elliott wave. This thing might actually do a cigarette butt Warren Buffett move to like up to $20, but it's high.
Would Daquan's reputation be able to
They're actually
handle
working on it, bro. That's the thing.
USD is completely insolvent. Like the leverage, the loans that they taken to try and bring it back to peg, like it's all trashed. But it might make a speculative move short term. But I'm not touching that shit with. I don't care if it fucking 30.
Yeah, you're playing with fire. You're playing with
Yeah,
fire.
you're playing with fire, and like somebody I
If
knew.
if you play with fire, you're gonna get burned. So if you get
Yeah,
burned,
yeah.
don't be surprised. That's all it is.
So let's get a better example.
YouTubers are profiting heavily right now off of telling people to trade Terra Luna at $3, and I'm absolutely disgusted personally.
It's very, very high risk.
It's high
Well,
risk,
you
of
see,
course, but
they
like a
probably don't even know what
small.
they're doing,
If
bro.
you're talking
They
about
probably
like
don't even know what the fuck they're doing. Like, let's be real. Like, they're just saying it
look
because
at
they
that
think
chart. That
they
is a
they
money.
probably have
Yeah. So it's funny
faith.
because
There's a lot of hopium in the air.
somebody was talking about it the other day on I think it was the Spaces, and they were like, "Oh, somebody came in and said the 8 cents, 8 cents hex," and they were like so absolute with it. I don't think they're right, and I was like, it's highly unlikely, but there is a fib line there, but I don't think it will because. But then the market, people cause a lot of when markets move like that, it causes a lot of FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt, and sometimes that will affect even the unicorns. And it looks like we might get that fractal movement, but I think it's gonna bounce now, man. We got a small little minor move at 10 cents. Be nice to see it bounce, but I mean, it just at this volatility, if this thing does 50% at this level, like that, if that's a buy op and a half, because when it starts to get down to the floor and you get massive volatility, like 50% down, 75% up, that's where you want to get in, because when it moves, it's gonna move big. I mean, look at these spreads, man. These spreads are like, look, that's $1 hex. That's crazy.
Those are cool little vision shots. I like that.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
a
I mean,
light.
so I should show you what I'm pitch fanning, right? So let's get rid of all this shit here. Let's fucking do it. Let's make that
Like
disappear.
that's where we're going. That way.
And let's pick
into
the
the right.
biggest time frame. Has some fucking all right, I think we have a range. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. You see here? You see that little actually let me freeze it. So you see this little triangle here? I'm gonna show you. Hold on. Let's see where's my triangle. Damn it. Ah, here we go. Triangle.
That's pretty crazy to look at, yo.
See that triangle right there? That is a fractal.
Oh.
So you got a high, you got a low, and you got a high.
Oh.
That's basically what fractals are. And fractals are basically they give you bottoms, they give you tops. So let's go to the top. You see the fractal, that's a huge one right there, but let's draw it out. 1, 2, 3. See that giant freaking fractal? That right there is a high. Now we this could be a low. That's 9 cents. That could be a low. And if I do that, it's generally not a good idea to set up my pitch fans without the next candle, because remember, it has to be a triangle.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
So
right. I feel you.
this isn't a fractal yet. But let's assume that this is the lowest low. Then my spread on the biggest time frame in hex, if that's the lowest low, that's my spread. Look at that shit. And if it's going to do parabolic movements and do all that shit, and then if it's really bullish off of this trend, it'll come off of this trend and then come back in. But again, this is not a proper pitch fan until the next candle closes. So once this candle opens and this candle has been completely has never gone below the lowest low, then this is a confirmed fractal.
If
So
you did a similar thing with Bitcoin in the same amount of time span, what would it look like?
Oh, I do that all the time. Hold on.
I'm curious. That's awesome.
Which is why people say 100K Bitcoin, because the spread right now is like 25,000 to 100K. If it's bullish off of it, it'll do 250. But again, Bitcoin follows the like Elliott wave to the T. I've been following Elliott wave principle and Bitcoin since its inception. And like I said, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, right? So you think about it, it's got to have 3 nice big large peaks, with the third one being the largest, and then you get like an 85% dip. That 85% dip, I mean, it's around 85%, but generally that dip is the one you're going to lean into, because the next wave principle, like according to the wave principle, the next wave is going to be another set, and it's scalar in nature. So for example, you have a set of 3 in a micro time frame, that might create the first peak of Elliott wave in the macro time frame. So then there's another set of 3 that creates the second wave on the macro. Then you have a micro set of 3 that creates the bigger third wave in the macro, and now the whole set is
it's
complete.
like a big picture with smaller pictures within the picture.
Exactly. So now you had 9 steps in the micro, but there are 3 large steps in the macro. But here's the crazy part: is that could be a part of an even bigger macro. So that could be the first fucking step of the macro. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's
also how people believe like, oh, we're it's a bear market, but no, the market still goes up. Or like how people think, oh, it's a bear market, but the market's still going. Excuse me, it's a bull market, but the market's going down. You're like you're looking at something within a bigger picture that maybe you're not seeing. But
yeah, you have to zoom out.
So I feel you. That's cool. That's dope. Yeah. No, definitely, bro. I think that's one of the best. That's one of the. That's how I think that's how you know trading. Once you understand that idea of the smaller pictures within the big pictures, because you're considering all time frames. You just need to be very aware of all time frames, and as long as you can do that, you won't be oblivious to what might possibly happen, because every possibility sways your bias at the end of the day.
Right. So and this is where like where I just did this pitch fan. Here's where things get binary, right? So I'm gonna take this. God damn it.
I'm gonna sit here and listen. I'm gonna put my camera down for 1 second. I have to answer a few questions, and I don't feel like staring at my screen with my glasses on.
So this is where it gets binary. Whenever you have a retracement, I have a strong opinion that when it retraces, it does one of 2 things. It will continue, which indicates that the trend is not over, or it will fill, which means that is a complete impulse wave. That means that it did its big dip, it's gonna fill, and that's where you grab it. So I have a little mathematical formula that I've attached. It's like a numeric pattern that I've attached to the Fibonacci retracement that price tends to respect. And you'll see it here. You could see Bitcoin is trying to approach the $31,000, 31.8 line. And you could see when it retraced, it actually provided a lot of support, right? And if you notice, the range that I picked was from price fractals that came before the actual price movement. So it's extremely predictive. You can use this to really kind of like look at the spread and see, okay. And again, like when I trade this model, I'm zooming out. This is a monthly time frame. This could take months to pan out. So right now we just had a very big downwards move and we broke this line. So now Bitcoin has to make a decision as to whether this line is support or resistance. If it comes back up and cracks his head on 32K, it's more likely that we're going to do 18.5 and see a bounce there.
I see. Can I ask you a question, bro? Do you day trade cryptocurrency?
I don't anymore. I've outperformed the market like year over year. Like I started my portfolio with 4 fucking digits, bro. I was broke ass bitch. And now like I got a food truck fully paid off, my car's fully paid off, everything's fully paid off. I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, for me, and I used to go crazy, like open leverage fucking longs 100x, but I would
trade Forex or
I can't stand Forex traders. I don't know. I can't stand
trade crypto like perpetually on exchanges.
Yeah, I will do like I had Binance, I had the SafePal DApp, Bybit, the whole 9.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was leverage trading hard, I would respect
these
the
levels
range.
Yeah,
I would respect the parent range, because the parent range is going to, if you go too hard on a leverage within a smaller time frame, if the parent range is governing the price in the opposite direction, that shit will wreck you, and you don't want to get caught in the chop. If people get revenge, like I used to revenge trade, and like I would basically like I'd make 10K off of a Bitcoin long and then give it all back, revenge trading. Like I'm right, I know I'm right. Like I'm fucking shorting this shit. Give me the fucking short, and guess what? You know, but the then is I closed that fucking short. You know what happens 3 days later? mega crash. You know what I'm saying? So I've stopped getting into the chop, and I'm not really trading right now. But trust that when these moves start to happen, like when we start to see, if we start to see 18K, I'm gonna be watching it like a fucking hawk.
How do you
Because
identify bottoms? How do you
So
identify your
I have a
bottoms?
question too.
It's a
It would kind of
spread.
have to do with that. So, like, my whole thing is like when the market starts moving and rich people start taking advantage of everyone again, it's good to be on their side of things, right? Like, just like in Hex, I mention this all the time. People hate to mention negative stuff about anything, right? But there's always negative externalities with everything. So, like the way that you were looking at the fractals in the Hex thing, and the when you looked at the Bitcoin one, I mean, I don't want to go into all that. When you were talking about bottoms, when people start moving money into the system, because I see this because I look at the staking patterns very often of the whales, and I see that they stake for short times because a lot of my friends talk about that too. And I've been noticing over times, it's like a lot of that volume when it starts moving up is going to happen anyway. And a lot of the smaller people in Hex just stake over top of all that, right? But guys like
Yeah.
Satoshi Boulevard, for example, would be like, I want to take some of my bag and go with the Joneses, get a little of my money out, and then we'll do the
Accumulation, right? And this is why I love Hex, because if you're someone who doesn't understand how this stuff works, maybe you're getting educated, maybe you're starting to experiment and you're finding success, but you want to hedge a percentage of your portfolio. Hex is great because you go in and stake, and you're basically getting, Richard called it a Bitcoin with a proof of work change. I like to call it like a copy pasta of the Federal Reserve. And it's kind of both, really. That I don't want to say there's a curve there. There's a reward curve, and that curve will benefit you long term. And as traders, if we're trading on spot, generally we're doing it for short term games and we're giving up long term. But if what I like to do is I do a little bit of both. I trade something that I like fundamentally long term, and I trade to accumulate. So I will find the biggest range, and I will respect the largest range. I won't try to get greedy on 15-minute time frames. I won't try to get greedy on daily time frames. I will trade this thing on weeklies and monthlies, because not only is that smarter, but and I'm not doing it with my whole position. It's generally better for accumulation. Like, for example, there's like one stock. It's one of my biggest positions. It's actually a stock. It's the only stock I own. I've been taking like maybe 10% of that, taking it off of fractal tops, and then just throwing it back in. I broke the market maker on that thing because there's a bunch of greedy assholes on the stock market. They hold the floor and they're pumping. They do it from both sides. And the minute that some little guy comes in and actually starts winning, they're going to wreck him. But I knew that going into it, and I've been leaning into it this whole time. And now they're over shorting it, so expect a short squeeze. So you gotta play that game. If you're gonna play it, you have to know every single aspect of how these traders trade, because there's a formula here, and this formula is not designed by traders. This formula is designed by the combined psychology of the whole world. And the same formula that governs this trading is the same formula that governs flowers that grow. It's the same things that govern, how I form my thumb and fingers as a baby in the womb. That same golden ratio formula, that Fibonacci, that we call it Fibonacci retracement tools. People don't understand the math there. That math governs everything. And Elliott wave principle governs your life. You think about your life, your personal life. How many times have you done 3 steps forward and 2 steps back?
every time.
But you're still 1 step ahead.
Yep, every time. That's how I do it.
Yeah. That's my life right now. I took profits. I dodged the Luna FUD. I dodged all this shit, right? But now because I'm trying to behave as a business and try not to pay like a bunch in taxes, I took all my profits from the market and I threw it into assets in the real world, and I left myself very cash broke. And then I've had some downturns within my own family dynamic. Now I got to leave to Texas because my housing situation is fucked here because something happened with the plumbing, et cetera, et cetera. But all these downturns, they're just a part of the process. So I don't worry about it.
Let me ask you this. If you were able to remove the downturns from your life, would you do it?
I don't think you could.
You can.
I don't think you could.
You stop. You know how you do it? You stop trading. That's exactly how you do it. If you stop trading,
But
you
he
will
means
remove all the
experience-wise,
downturns. And I'm gonna be honest. Look, bro, I'm a trader. You're talking to someone who traded for 5 years of his life, and today hasn't traded or touched any type of forex, perpetual, just anything related to trading for almost a year now. And so I'm telling you, like, that 2 steps back shit, I did a lot of that shit.
Well,
I don't do that shit no more.
I'm
And I'm
very
telling you
defiant.
honestly, because like, bro, winners win. I'm gonna just tell you this right now. Winners win. And yes, they take losses, but even a loss isn't a setback because when you have money, money is just energy at the end of the day. So if you have $10 million and you lose 100,000, 200,000, did you really take a step back or are you just moving forward? It was a lost opportunity. That lost opportunity wasn't even worth the step back in an investment like a business or something bigger. But to my point here, trading, like you're spending a lot of time. Specifically, that's the issue. You're spending a lot of time in front of a computer when instead you can be out doing something better. And I think if you're out doing something better and just working on something, even if you fail, it's never really a step back, as opposed to sitting in front of a computer and not doing anything and just losing money. Now you're down on
Okay,
money and you have zero experience, as opposed to going out, building something, doing something with the money. And even if you lose money, you have gained experience. Is that, you see what I'm trying to say? So
I
think
agree.
about it from that way.
agree
Like,
and
I'm not
disagree.
saying you're not going to lose, but is it really a L?
I do. I'm gonna play devil's advocate now.
I'd
Why I
love to,
trade,
yeah.
why I trade, and why I'll never stop trading is because I need to shit test all of the traders. I need to shit test liquidity. I need to shit test the market. And if I need to see that I'm holding something and that it's actually like truly fungible, it's
And it's
truly like
liquid.
transparent,
You need to
it's truly
verify its
liquid,
liquidity.
I need to verify it with my own two eyes, with my own brain. And I don't do it in ways that wreck me or ways that wreck anyone else. I will just see. And then I will take that and then either accumulate or compound into something else that I feel like is going to grow. A lot of the times I'm just like skimming fractal tops to support something that's growing. Like for example, when I joined Meme, I'm top holder on Meme. I bought out bots day one and I didn't intend to do that. I just was looking at the folder and I saw what was happening. I saw people jumping in. I saw the momentum of all these people, these little guys talking. There was like 70, 80 people in chat, like, yeah. And then I saw the bot. And I saw what the bot was about to do. And I'm like, yeah, see, these fucking bots are about to do what they usually do on the BSC.
Hey
I'm
guys,
going
get the spammers out. Spammers
to
out.
buy
Spammers
this bot out. And guess what? I bought that bot the fuck out. And it's probably going to send us a Fibonacci level up sooner
Let me
than
jump in the middle of this real quick. Let me jump in the middle
Yeah.
of this real quick
Yeah.
because I'm on both sides of it. I understand that there's tactical advantage to doing things that the rest of the market doesn't do, but you have to be also in a position to do them. So I think what Puel is saying in general is just like the right thing, like to me, like in general. But some
Yeah.
people like to geek the fuck out on the computer all day. Like it's true.
Yeah,
like,
you have nothing better
playing
to do.
with
I feel like that's
playing
what
with
it
your
is. Like,
kids, playing with your kids and shit
yeah.
is rough. Like, and also we all have like not
I
rough
got
as far as
4
not
of them, so-
amazing, but like I'm not for you. I'm saying in general. I'm talking about myself. I'm
Right.
putting myself in the position of somebody that has a lot of shit going on and all that. I love this shit. It's the most interesting thing to me in the world. I don't trade anything, and I never have. I work out twice a day, and I have a large thing going on otherwise. But at this, like that's my other thing that I do. But I think what Puel is saying is right. I can stake and add money to my pool, and if I even have enough mass, I can stake for 2 months perpetually, right, on an immutable contract, and basically front run a lot of the cash. And that's what people do. But it just is a healthier system than Bitcoin because there is less sell pressure, technically.
Yeah,
there's
like look,
not
let's
as
talk
much
about
sell
that.
pressure as
By
Bitcoin,
you
and Bitcoin
trading
still
and
did
trying to
amazing.
validate, bro, by you trading and trying to validate, like, hey, is this really liquid? Does this really work? If everyone around you has that same mentality, like, hey, does this really, all you're doing is just you're buying and selling, you're adding more sell pressure to an asset you ultimately want it to go up, whether it's the dollar or whether it's anything. Like, there's people who short the dollar and the dollar is doing very, very well. You feel me? There's people who short gold just because there's a selling opportunity. So those markets in which you sell against something, like just I think short selling altogether is fucking pointless. I think it should.
I think it should be illegal
because you're
that
it should be. It shouldn't be around. It's just another way for people to manipulate the market once again and take advantage of something and and wreck people because that's really what it is.
Yeah, and if a little guy tries to short, expect all the market makers to like.
But it's kind of like the point you brought up, right? Like all these different ideologies turn into this one massive idea, right? This massive like kind of overlooker. Like if you think about it, yeah, you're here. Look, there's people there testing for liquidity. There's people there that are day trading. There's people there that are long-term investing, through perpetual futures or whatever. All those people are involved in the market. But there's one big guy looking up on every single trader. There's institutional money, whatever you want to call it, looking up at every single trader ready to dump and ready to buy like massive amounts of cash that's going to manipulate and move the market. And so that's my point. Like, there's an overseer in all of this. I would rather play the overseer and move with the overseer than to move with the trader. Like, yeah, you're making money today, bro, but let's be real, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I think a lot of traders, I'm not talking about you now. I think a lot of traders, specifically people that I used to trade with or whatever the case may be, like people maybe I've experienced in my life, they do it because they honestly don't have anything better to do, bro. They think it's like the thing they should be doing, when in reality, bro, you can be just investing your money and then learning and studying like Jim Rat. Like Jim Rat has his money invested and he just studies and learns. By the time the money touches his bank, or by the time the money or the financial energy becomes more than what it's worth today, the version of Jim Rat with all that financial energy is going to be able, bro, you're going to take over the world. You get me? Like, but it's because
so little money to survive. So little.
Exactly. And that's even better.
That it's like, I can study for I told myself, I'll give you 8 months, bro. Just study. Just 8. Like, for me, this is my position as where I'm at right now. Like, y'all studied at 18, 24, at different ages, everyone starts, right?
Yeah.
I said, Scott, I quit my job. I said, this is, first of all, way more dope. Let's be real. But my other job was boring, more boring than this. But let's be honest. If I study this 8 months every single day, I'm going to be better than everyone I talk to, because crypto is an evolving door of information. Like, it's never going to stop. So that is the one thing I agree with Satoshi Boulevard on, is that, and I mean, but you're studying too. Everyone's studying, right? We all pay attention to this shit all the time. But studying and being prepared, learning about things like Terra Luna intimately, to the point where you understand everything that went wrong and why it occurred before it happened. Because guess what? Guys like Richard knew this would happen. You can't say it aloud, but they probably knew in their head, like, if this goes bear, like, this is wrecked.
He did say
the minute Luna was buying billions was a FUD catalyst for me, because I just showed you the range on Bitcoin. That is not a buy zone to me. Even if it were to bounce right now, right? That's not a buy zone in this range. That's highly risky to do with billions of dollars of people's money. So it was gambling, the same way Sailor is gambling, the same way all of them are gambling. And it might be that they're gambling for the long term to get people to follow their moves, so that way the bigger money, the ones that's hiding behind the curtain holding trillions, can get their exit liquidity and create these waves. So when these things happen,
yeah, they're building orders.
Yeah, I'm not paying attention to it. I'm paying attention to my range. I'm paying attention to my 8-month range. I'm paying attention to my 4-month. I'm paying attention to the parent range and seeing what that thing is going to do. And at the end of the day, I've learned that at those levels, those Fibonacci levels that I just showed you, that something always happens at those levels that is either a fundamental catalyst or a FUD catalyst. And it will show whether it breaks it or it fills. Like right now, Hex, I'll show you.
2013,
Hex.
it hasn't deleted the tweet, just like Online Gaming did. I had huge bags of Bitcoin.
Oh, I saw
and
this.
then now he's wrecked. He's almost underwater. His average cost basis, I believe, is 31,000. He was underwater yesterday, underwater with other people's money and underwater with leverage. He took on leverage to get long at 46 or 48. He took on leverage. He encumbered his Bitcoin that he has to get more Bitcoin at a higher price.
I'm actually going to be on Wendy O next week. I love you both.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, bro.
That'll
Next
be
week.
dope. Make sure you drop that link to me so I can spread it around.
We
like
just did an
wildfire.
interview for we just did an interview for Meme. So it's just cool. Like we literally recorded that like 2 days after the Richard Hart interview. I'm like, I can't believe that I'm talking to Wendy O 2 days after Richard did. Like, I feel like that's like an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how like a degenerate asshole like me is just like able to hang with these fucking people.
No, you're not a degenerate. Degenerate assholes
I'm
are
a
the
degenerate
people now.
asshole for life,
No,
bro.
they're
If
the
I'm a
people now.
billionaire
Those are the
and I'm a
people now. Like,
degenerate
you don't go
asshole,
to school to
I'd
be
be-
smart anymore like that. Like you don't. You
Yeah,
gotta be a
college dropout,
degen.
baby. Yeah.
Degens will rule the world. The smart ones, at least, like not the ones that obviously like do stupid ass shit all the time. But the degens.
Yeah,
that
I
just
think
pay
you
attention
got to be
very
careful
close.
with that word.
Yeah, I don't know much about the word.
Yeah, you got to be
No.
careful with that word degen. You're
I don't know what it
degenerate.
means.
The degenerate has never been a good thing. And to turn it into a
Degen would just be
positive
like a
thing.
gambler.
A degen is
I'm
just a
gonna-
funny. It's like a funny way. It's like a hodl, like hodl. You feel me? Hodl is spelled. It was hold was spelled wrong. So
I don't think
they
I ever
turned it.
grew up.
Do you feel me? And they said, "Hold on for dear life." It was a fucking joke. And I think this degen shit. You're calling yourself a degenerate, but we say we're degens because but really you're not calling yourself something positive. I don't know. I just be careful
But
with
he's a
labeling
degen
yourself a
compared to
degen.
like the
Bro, listen.
normies. But when I
Bro,
I
hear
see how it's
degen,
becoming a normal thing, but I'm just saying be careful what you call yourself.
when I hear degen, I just hear not a normal person. Like when I hear
Hold
about a
on, hold
normie, like normies are degens to me because they're so stupid. Everyone else that pays attention to at least something to me is like
I have perpetual defiance disorder.
saying,
Like I never grew up. I was that defiant little kid, and I never ever stopped. And what I noticed in my life is anytime I ever let anybody into my head that made me compliant for that second, I lost out. And I don't know, maybe that's me. Maybe that's my spiritual calling. Maybe I am the black sheep for that fucking reason. But I'm gonna embrace it, and I'm never ever gonna
you
change
can
it.
only do what excites you when you wake up in the morning, in one way or another, whether that's
I mean,
a
my
good
poor
thing or a
kids
bad
are
thing.
fucking happy, bro. They're fed. Everything's good. Like the market takes a shit. When people
Well, we're all
are
Mexicans, like
Yeah.
in a way too, right?
Yeah, we're
Like,
good.
come on, let's be
Mhm.
real. Like we all invest in Hex. We love Hex.
Facts.
Like, let's be real. It's 6x on the 365 ROI, like from today. And come on, guys, that's huge. Like in a full-time bear from 65K to which will be 15 to 18K probably at some point, the touchdown. We're talking about a 6x, the leading ROI on the 365 from today would be Hex compared to every other coin on Nomics. That was in the top 50.
Yeah,
I was
bro.
looking at that cake chart yesterday.
That's
Woo! Boy, that cake chart was nice.
I mean, bro, but this
I-
happened a lot in
I've been snaking
2017. In
cake forever,
2017,
bro.
you had a shitload of coins like the Carbon Hood and a bunch of shit that just went to zero too. Like this happened a lot back in the day. Maybe not as much
Predictions.
money,
What won't
Go to
make it?
zero?
but it
What
happened.
won't make it,
I-
guys? Satoshi Puello, what do you think might surprise people? I'm going to go ahead and use some stablecoin examples, but what do you guys think? I think there's going to be some stable coins that are going to get absolutely nuked.
I think stable coins need to be erased from humanity.
US
Why would you peg
SDT
to
DPEG,
something?
you saw that?
Yeah, well, they all USDC is depegged as well, and this is a part of the problem. The fiat legacy system and its reserve currencies are weaponized against crypto. Why the fuck would you peg to them? Why would you peg to them? I get it. CFI normies, they like the idea of safety, but it's not safety. It's fake. You got 40% of your circulating supply diluted. If that happened on a shitcoin, we'd all be running for the hills, but for some reason we still hold $1. Does that make sense? Doesn't make sense at all. But the thing is that people are catering and enabling this behavior because people are fearful, and let's enable the fear. I'm not one to enable the fear. Ask my kids. I'm not one to enable fear. If they're afraid, I'll get upset at them. Like, why are you being afraid? That's just a spider. That's just an ant. That's just this. That's just that. That you don't have to be afraid of that. And maybe one day they won't be afraid. Maybe I'll be in their head and they'll grow up and they'll become an adult and be like, you know what, he's right. But they're full-on adults. They're full-on like people who are two generations ahead of me that are still fearful and looking at these quote unquote safety nets that are the most toxic things for them. And let's bring that over into decentralized autonomous ledgers and all this distributed technology that is going to change the world for the better. You want to bring all that toxic shit in here? That doesn't make any sense.
This is the USDT chart.
Yeah.
So this is the Tether chart from today.
Maybe after a decade, the Tether FUD is finally gonna fucking hit, like that nuclear weapon that was just sitting there the whole fucking time. That little button that was gonna do, maybe, because I thought the last run it was gonna be the FUD catalyst, but maybe it's this one. Maybe it's not, dude. It's just the placeholder. At the end of the day,
No,
it'll
dude,
work.
I think this is going to get crazy. I think they've been leveraging for this
Maybe
moment.
this is
Maybe
the
some smart
Yeah,
people.
there's
within
going to be
legislation.
fundamental events that are going to
But
keep,
was
and by
USC
fundamental I mean like news related events that are going to keep pushing the price down and down and down and down until it finally gets to a bottom, and then from there, it'll start to capitulate. From there, it'll start to just even out for a very, very, very long time, pretend like it's never going to go up, and then out of nowhere one day it's just going to take off. That's why the time frame is 2024, 2025. Just think about it like that.
Yeah.
And you know what's a
100%.
great chart that shows you that? The Bitcoin chart and the Ethereum chart broken down into the 4-year time frames, like into the halving years. Check this out. And honestly, this is the only chart I really ever look at. I do a lot of TA for Hex because I just like doing Hex TA. But even then, I feel like it's a little fucking pointless because you know, it's just gonna do what it wants. You feel me? Like it hits 20 cents one day, then it goes to 11 cents. You know, like that's just price. Price is gonna do what price wants to do, especially when it's based on a decentralized platform.
Well, I gotta disagree with you on that one. Price follows Fibonacci, bro. It does.
I mean, all right, I'll show you right now, bro. I'll show you right now.
Let's get it.
Yeah, like look.
My mom messaged me this morning and she's like, I heard crypto's not doing good. Are you okay? And I was like, I'm doing great, Mom. She's like, I saw Richard's stream the other day. He seemed very nice with Wendy. She liked the stream with Wendy. She said Richard was very
With Richard
nice.
and Wendy?
Yeah, he said Richard sounded very nice comparatively.
You got a good mom, I could tell, man. That's dope.
Well, I make her watch all the stuff. I'm like, I know it hurts sometimes. He's going to say some wild stuff, Mom, but I'm telling you, he's not lying. And she's like, okay, like, you know.
I wish my they're like stuck in a box.
All right, check this out, boys.
Well, they see my accounts now growing, and they're like, okay, Richard. Guys, so explain what we're looking at here and what your point was about kind of the way the market's moved in your opinion.
So this is in my opinion. This is how it moves. Like, and this is
you doing
broken down.
Nice.
Yeah. You feel me? Like this is something that was taught to me, and
you're watching the halving cycles against the logarithmic. That's smart.
Yeah, and it was something that was taught to me, bro. I had a mentor. His name was Nick, and Nick's doing really well. He likes XRP. Stop listening to him. I'm kidding. Appreciate you, Nick. But what's it
4
called?
years.
Like Nick was a really cool guy. He taught me a lot
4
about
years.
cryptocurrency.
XRP.
And one of the things that he did taught me. Yeah, XRP.
Well, they're all
garb.
Well,
but he did make a lot of money on
XRP.
XRP. So remember, once again, that was brought up by people who traded heavily. So look, if you look at it like this, right? Well, first and foremost, most people don't know this, but the halvening didn't become a thing until November 2012, right? That was actually added onto the code after the fact. In 2012, that's when we started seeing the halvening effects. And then the cycle pretty much runs through a 4-year time frame. So you're going to see these 1, 2, 3, 4 years, right, are years in which specific things happen. So year 1, you're going to tend to see a rally, right? Year 1 is going to be that rally year. Year 2, 3, and 4 are going to be years with, well, years 2 and 3, excuse me, are going to be years where the market tends to bottom out. This is usually an 85% drop. And this 85% drop over the course of time starts to once again break break new highs, right? Local highs. And then we eventually by year 4 make it back to around all-time highs. And then year 1, once again, the cycle starts all over again. So year 1, we have that bullish year. Years 2, 3, we bottom out 84, 85%. Year 4, we come back to all-time high. And then once again, year 1, we do it all over again. As you can see, year 1 for us was a 69K top, or 65K and 69K top. We hit a double top on this one. And then year 2 and year 3, once again, I believe the same thing is going to happen. And so I really don't deviate from this. The idea is Bitcoin might get to around 10,500. But if you look at the pattern and you look at what it's done every single year for the past 10, almost 10 years now, I mean, what do you think it's going to do in the next 2? Probably what it's done in the past 10. The same exact cycle, kind of the 85% drop in years 2 and 3. We're going to see that bottom. If you want to get in, these are the bottoms you want to focus on.
You don't notice the divergence there. Okay, so look, you got that second one.
Now this is something I want to talk about. This right here, where for example, you have your highs and the lows falling within the same. All right, so how can I explain this? You have your high and your low here, right? And usually the low falls within the prior high. You see what I mean? Like here we have a high, here we have a high. This is the low for this cycle. Here we have another high. This is the low within this cycle. It's between these years. This is the only one where the 85% actually falls beneath the high, to my knowledge, as of right now. So I don't know what that means, but I mean, I guess we'll just wait and see. But this is what I look at. I tend to just look at this as opposed to day trading it now, when I used to day trade it all together. But I think this is simpler and it gives you a good loud look. So that's why my, upcoming years, I'm looking at years 3, years 4, right? As those bull market years. Bear market years. And then year 4, usually we're going to be coming back to around 69K all-time highs. And then year 1, once again, making all-time highs again.
Yes. So I do look at the logarithmic chart every now and again, and I've come to a conclusion. So the Bitcoin chart that I was showing you, when I do those pitch fans and I'm going off of fractals, I'm going low, high, low. I'm triangulating price. It's a set of 3, right? I feel like that set of 3 is like a hybrid logarithmic kind of thing, right? So it's
Yeah,
giving
it's just,
me
for me, it's very complicated. What
it's
I just
giving me
looked
a
at, very simple.
well,
That
it's
was
giving
super
me a
simple.
geometrical set. But the thing is like I'm gonna call myself a hybrid trader. I go short midterm moves and accumulate for the long term. So when I use that pitch fan, what I notice is like it will give me a more geometrical sense of that logarithmic spread, and it will do it in a 2-dimensional speed. Because when I'm looking at it here, basically, I'm looking at it at the chart, a non-logarithmic. I'm looking at it linearly. I'm just seeing open, high, low, close. But when I triangulate using the pitch fan, I'm getting more depth, and I feel like it really does respect that so much. And I do look at the logarithmic, but it's logarithmic by nature. So at some point, this stuff is going to take years to pan out.
Yeah,
Right. So
I agree.
it makes
We were
sense
looking
to do a
at-
little bit.
But as
We were
opposed to
looking at
focusing on
the,
every single day, the micro movements, I'd rather almost create this idea of when everything is going to happen instead of every single day being involved in the market. Does that make sense? Like, I just feel like that makes more sense, because if I take the time I invest in the market, knowing the time frame more or less of what it's going to do throughout these years, then I course correct. I know I should be, if I want to invest in crypto during those bear market years, I need to be accumulating. I need to be cash heavy so I can go ahead and accumulate. When I know those bull market years are coming, I stop accumulation and I just let the market ride up. And that's it. You feel me? And then once we know that we're maybe hitting peak, we're hitting peak returns, maybe remove some profit, let the market ride down again, and then continue the cycle. But if you're in it long enough, you eventually see that trend. I've only been in since 2017. It took someone who was in it since 2014 to show me it, and then another gentleman who was in Bitcoin since 2012 to educate me on that specific 4-year cycle. But that's the cycle that we all respect. Everyone follows the Bitcoin cycle, and psychologically, every coin is connected to Bitcoin in a way, because, well, through liquidity and through just like
Psychological.
But isn't it just tied to the overall market?
psychology.
Yeah.
You could just say
Yeah,
the
Bitcoin
same
goes
thing
down,
about the
everybody
whole
starts to sell their
financial
shit.
institute, though.
What's up?
Like, probably
Well,
at some point, the
500.
whole financial institute moves together. It just lags behind each other a little bit. Whichever economic mass is more, it'll take longer.
Yeah, like you're starting to see,
So-
Bitcoin, and people were trying to find correlations between this, correlations between that. All I know is someone was able to find a very strong way to decorrelate things, and that was Richard with, making Hex highly liquid through USDC, something that is one, and then basing it off of that primarily, as opposed to, Ethereum or something that fluctuates. Because then you're going to see what he was referring to when he was talking about Luna. When two things are bonded in liquidity, when one goes down, it brings the other one down with it. That's why Luna and UST are going down at the same time, because you can't have one fall without the other one getting that price impact. And so when you have USDC staying at 1, and that 1 is what maintains most of, everything else, 1 doesn't go below 1. It tends not to go below 1. So you have just the positive price pressure of Hex, and then, whatever USD is at the time, but usually it's up.
Is my screen still up, or oh nice? I'll show you something. So let's do this. That same numeric pattern that I'm using when I put it on a range in a Fibonacci retracement tool gives me Fibonacci levels of the future, and will give me major inflection points. So this is a major inflection point. What I've noticed is when I use them, when it reaches it, when it makes a decision to be over or under this inflection point, it's usually at a time of a big fundamental or fundamental catalyst. So Did I coin a phrase? I did. So I'm gonna take a second. I'm gonna delete this one.
Was the fundamental catalyst the news for Terra Luna in particular? They sold that Bitcoin news to the people as something that was positive, but anyone with a brain knew that was absolutely ridiculous.
Well,
And why were they doing that?
of
And
course,
somehow,
because the reserve is primarily built up in Bitcoin. So they know that if Bitcoin's going down, the reserve is going down. And
So
this
we're gonna
guy's
use
buying
the-
$45,000 Bitcoin, like
Oh.
and bragging about it like it's a good idea. Like
So
that
let's
shit was the
use-
worst. That shit got me hot. I'm like, bro, you fucking stupid. Like you look
Yeah,
like
it's
Michael Saylor at this point. Like there's no difference between you guys.
but do you
Like,
think
we're
they're just
gonna
using
use-
that? There's no way, Puella, he's that dumb. Do you think he's just saying that shit? Come on.
Bro,
Like,
honestly,
I
like
think
let me
he
be
was-
real. Most people don't know these concepts. Like anybody getting onto this doesn't know. He maybe saw
he's still
something, tried to make
Quan.
it better. Doesn't matter who the fuck he is, bro. I don't care what his name is. He might know a lot, but he didn't know that, and that's all he needed to know that it wasn't.
But I'm
gonna work,
saying, what if he
period.
did know that and he purposefully is tied to the bank so everyone?
Well, if
can
he
get
did, then
out?
we'll figure it out. Only time will tell. But I mean, to the end of the,
Well, I mean,
I'm going to give him the
the
benefit of the
SEC
doubt with the way he's being. You feel me? He's always come off as a genuine guy, and he's always seemed to be that. But then again, every single
I agree
crypto
with
asshole
that.
that comes in and steals everyone's money looks that way. We all think it's this great guy with this great background, and they never fucked anybody over. When in reality, they're these fucking this destructive ass people who have always been in the chats like under different aliases and different names. But only time will tell. When people start
Mark?
investigating what happened, what really happened, like how all these Netflix shows are coming out and shit, then we'll see. But for right now, I mean, the guy is just trying to figure it out. And if he didn't know, then fuck it, he didn't know. But a lot of people got hurt because that one thing just
Well,
wasn't
I
in
am
his
an
artillery.
absolute. I absolutely look at everyone like scumbag trash. I cannot help it. Those guys, because I read all their shit. I'm just a little bit of a hyper researcher.
Yeah.
So I just go back and I read everything, and I'm like, there's so much inconsistency. There's so much inconsistency.
Imagine
He's
someone
a
who has all the
centralized
receipts and
dictator
wants
that
to go
got
through it.
sold out, in my opinion. He sold out. He knew this shit wasn't going to work. Everyone with a really, really deep understanding of this stuff, some of the dudes that I was watching were calling this shit out.
Have they identified those
wasn't.
wallets?
I feel so bad for the
Lunatic
20-year-olds.
Swindler.
Dude, I had two like 20-something-year-olds on my show, and they were like all in Luna. And I feel, hey, if you guys are watching this, you guys are young. I'm telling you, you're young. You can recover from anything. I promise you. Yeah, dude, I've gone through stuff way, way, way horrible. You can come right back. I know it seems like your reputation. You're just a young man. I'm telling you guys, there's room for you over on the Crypto in the Morning friend team.
Persistence is your friend. Persistence and volatility is your friend.
Now,
I agree.
they also say persistence wears down resistance. There's a couple things you can do with persistence.
Ooh, you guys are the
Yeah,
best.
so Playo, check this out. Check this
We got
out,
this
Playo.
house.
All right.
What's
So
up, bro?
look, this is the lowest low of the last range, right? Check this out. That same numeric pattern. Look at it. Look at how much future price
And
respects
look, bro,
it.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, you're showing me where price can go. All I feel like is like by me looking at the way the markets, I look at it, I feel like I know where the market is and where it's going. You know, like or when it's gonna do it. Better said. So instead of looking at where it's going, I'm looking at when it's gonna do what I think it's gonna do. When it's gonna go where I want it to go. Does that make sense? And I feel like that's more
Well,
valuable
yeah,
because ultimately that's where I course correct my strategy. Because everyone's big question is when should I be buying? When should I be selling? It's not where's
Right,
pricing
so
to be at. We
let's
all want
talk
price to be
about that one.
100,000,
Let's-
250,000. But what I need to know is when do I buy this shit and when do I sell it? And so that's what you need to identify. That's what that chart identifies for me. Those bullish
Well, let's-
years, I'm
right,
holding,
right,
and
and I
I'm not
understand that.
and I'm not buying shit because I've
Yeah,
already
and
I'm leveraging what I'm gaining off of what I've accumulated during those bearish years. I'm holding or I'm buying and I'm accumulating that pullback, whether it's 85% or it's 60% that year or 50%, doesn't matter. I'm accumulating that pullback the same way I've done it with Hex. I'm accumulating this pullback. I bought at 40 cents. I bought at 30. I bought at 20. I bought at 12. I'll buy at 7. You feel me? Like I'm accumulating this shit because by the time I know 2023, 2024, 2025, we start to maybe see this market move back up again. It could be sooner. I don't know, bro. But when it does do it, I'm going to be ready and I'm going to ride these profits. But that's all I need to know.
2024.
You feel me? And in the meantime, I'm going to be here with my boy Jim Rat talking some shit, learning new things. And, you know, instead of in the fucking charts where I feel like, honestly, bro, I'm just speculating and I'm trying to figure something out that only time is going to tell me. And it's just the
not
easier way to do
speculation
it.
if you're using math. So check this out. Look,
Bro, math is
All right,
great. I love math.
Let's Satoshi
but-
Boulevard go. Let's
hold
let
on,
Satoshi Boulevard go for a minute. Let
Wait,
him show
actually,
his
do
teeth.
you mind, bro? I don't want to interrupt you, but I really gotta piss.
Yeah, dude,
So
please go pee.
I'm gonna just do
Peeing
that.
is
I need to
peeing
use
is
the
not
restroom.
optional. You can leave whenever you'd like.
You feel me? I apologize. Not that I don't want to listen to you, but I'm gonna.
No, I got you.
I appreciate you, my boy. I'll be right back. Hold up.
So what he said about when, yeah, it's very important. And when I look at when, I just look at how charts travel, right? So look at this parabolic movement. You can tell almost intuitively when something is going to come based on how charts move. They're gonna do this, right? And then they're gonna come down, and if something is more fundamental, right here is where it'll tell you, because people will hold this before it dumps. The longer they hold it before it dumps, the more fundamental it is, in my opinion. So right here is where and notice it's right around the inflection point. Right here is where the decision was made that this is bearish. It clicked right over. And notice the giant fucking red candle right over the inflection point. This range was created in 2015. And yet it's predicting price and inflection points in price. Big, huge movement. Look at this wick. This wick broke through, right? So for a moment, we probably thought, oh, this is bad. It's going down.
You can on that.
But then it rejects the inflection point. Here it went right over, confirmed the inflection point, right? Here it rejected it, right? So it shit tested the inflection point, and then we decided right here in this moment that this is not going below this. Highly unlikely it's going below this ever again. And look what happened after that. Now let's do the same thing on this range, on this actual impulse wave. So let's take the lowest low. Let's see, the lowest low would be right here. Let's see, is this one? High, 41, 41.8, 41.8. Yep, that's it right there. So let's do it. Let's see, 1, 2. Look at that. Look, it's right on that line. Look at the volatility on that line. And that's the end of the cycle. You see? So it came above it, boom, went down. Tried it, tested it, did a confirmation off of it, but Bitcoin has confirmed bullish and then went down a whole 3 levels in the past. So I tend not to really lean on bullish or bearish confirmations for Bitcoin.
Was that pretty obvious with the Bitcoin double top? I mean, I know everyone was going to say Richard was calling it out, and I mean, he actually definitely was at some point. But
it was one hell of a fake out, bro. Like, even for a second, I was like, damn it. Because I thought, like,
if it was 3K higher,
it moves in threes, right? I said 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, right? So 20K to 60K is a 3x it's a 3x move. So I thought that was it. That was the Elliott wave. And then when it started testing it back up, I says, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something I'm missing there. That just maybe it's gonna add a 0 or do something, a multiplier that I don't know. But I'm in discovery. I'm learning. So I was like, okay, so what's the spread on that range? All right, 25,000 to 100K. We'll see how it does. And it ended up failing it. And when it failed it, I just stopped paying attention to Bitcoin. Once it failed that, I was like, all right, well, then I'm probably right. So I'm just gonna focus on some other shit. And that's what I did. And look, it's the inflection point here is 19,000. So if it breaks down, let's do the top. Hold on. Let's take the entire range of the last cycle. This one right here. That's this right here. So, and this might not be the parent range. So let's see. But yeah, that's 18K. But if you go to bigger time frames, we have a bigger range here. So you got one here. Yeah, this is it right here. This is the biggest range in the entire Bitcoin price chart right now. That low is 13K. And if it does like a little, micro dip off of that, let's see what the
Terra is 1 penny right now.
It's crazy, bro.
1 fucking penny, dude. It was $90 2 weeks ago. That was an expensive per unit bias too. Like, damn. This is the first time I've ever seen anyone chart like and do it in front of me, other than like people doing it on their own time, right? But this is cool to see. I never have charted before.
Yeah, so I think the over under is somewhere around 13K, and that's even if Bitcoin still has fundamentals by then. Because remember, proof
What
of
do you
work.
mean by that? What do you mean by that?
There is so much research in blockchain technology today that proof of work may be obsolete in the short term, midterm, maybe long term future. We don't know, right? This is evolving every day. I mean, delegated proof of stake, I don't think is better than proof of work. I think it's more scalable. You have the trilemma, right? Vitalik coined the trilemma, but he's talking like a programmer. Programmers like sets of threes, right? So we got security, got scaling, and decentralization. That's the trilemma, right? So we got to think about how the trilemma gets solved best, right? With delegated proof of stake, you have less security, you have less decentralization, but you have more scaling. Your throughput is higher, right? So with Bitcoin, you have a lot of security, your scaling is down, and your decentralization is okay. We got money printers that are attacking this thing, Vanguard indexing, big elite money moves, trying to take over it, because the only way to take over it is to infiltrate, buy it up, and just control the supply, right? Pull a Yuga Labs move and buy 80% of the Bored Apes. I'm just speculating. Maybe it's not true. I don't know. But we can, anything's possible, right? So I always like to look at these projects and see, like, all right, there's somebody doing something bad here. What are they doing? How are they doing it? And then if I don't find it, maybe I haven't found it yet, but I always just, maybe they were just good. Maybe they were just good. And maybe there's an actually truly honest actor here holding the floor. Maybe, but generally it's not. 99.99% of everything's a fucking rug, bro. That's why I'm here, because I have a lot of faith that Richard Hart is probably the only person in the entire world of crypto at his level, gaining world order fucking level power, and may actually do the right thing by the fucking people. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, I'm always going to I have more discretion in my brain than most humans. So I'm always going to look at it like, all right, what's this person up to? What they're doing? But so far, I haven't found anything. So for me, I'm just looking at all of that. So when I look at Bitcoin, I think about, well, what's the bad thing in Bitcoin? Well, you got a bunch of money coming in trying to buy it up and using the working class's money to do it. Like, I work for $10 an hour this year, and next year the 40% diluted US dollar. Now I'm working for $6 an hour, and they just went and bought a shitload of Bitcoin with that money. And if you bought the top, not only did they use your money, but now you're buying what they use to pump, and they're going to sell you off. So now you're really working for $4 an hour, because you lost all your fucking money buying the top, and they use your money to do it. You know what I'm saying? So you look at all of these things. I kind of look at it like as a game, as war. It's the art of war, all of these assets, and technically it is buyers and sellers, right? There's buyers and sellers, very binary, and I just try to stay focused on that. And Puello may not agree with me being a trader, but I'm gonna be a trader for life, and that doesn't mean that
I think Puello just really likes peace of mind when he's doing his day-to-day shit, and that's just not really
but the thing is, my life has never ever taught, like, one thing I've learned from my life is that peace of mind, if you have it, you're never gonna have it too long. There is this world is eat or be eaten, and it wants to change for the better, but the only way it's gonna change for the better is if people who have been through the eat or be eaten world come out and say, like, yo, let's just redesign it for a little while. But then what happens is that just creates a cycle, the boom and bust of the world. I mean, look at it now. We have the US, and the US dollar is the best performing asset in the last a couple hundred years before Bitcoin, right? And look what it's done. It created all these safety nets. It created all this peace of mind for people. Now something has come that has disrupted that, and people are so fearful of it that they are in full denial of their safety net, but not being a safety net anymore. And because of that, they're going to suffer. I think that perpetually putting yourself through uncomfortable situations to learn how to maintain a cutting edge is how you survive. It's how you survive. I mean, how do you gain muscle? How do you gain muscle? You go through pain.
Well, no, it's, I'm going to be honest about the muscle thing. I'm absolutely neurotic and absolutely have OCD issues. And I have problems, and this is just me. I'm going to be 100% raw with you guys. Like, I'm a human. This is just my experience. I have trouble presenting myself to anyone if I don't look absolutely perfect. And that is a problem of mine. I have my brain does not stop churning in that way. That's how I survived when I was young. Like that, you know what I mean? That's how I learned how to adapt, because I didn't have any other skills, right? I thought I was an idiot. I was a jock, right? Like I was just trying to move and make my shit happen. And I just brought that kind of thing to this field for the first time, because in my world, that's normal. That's like how everyone is. But in this world, no one's like that. They're all like, well, not no one, of course. Everyone's different. But you know what I mean? Many more of them are just like, have a family, even if they're loaded. And I'm like, it's a different vibe. Like, everyone's so different. It's just like, it's just all about experience at the end of the day. Like, the reason things don't bother me, I got hacked for everything I was worth 100 days ago. I didn't lose sleep for 10 minutes because I didn't really give a fuck, to be honest, because I was so new. I still didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean? And I knew it. I was clear. I'm not a dummy. I knew I didn't know what was going on. I was asking questions. I was getting decent answers. I was like, fuck this. I'm doing this myself. And then I started the show, and I get guys like you on so I can ask them whatever the fuck I want, right? Rather than having to sit through Twitter for people that pretend like they know what the fuck they're doing, but they've never provided liquidity. They've never done any of these things that they're experts on, right? But so that's why I started the show. But I know what you mean. Like, things don't bother me in a way, because it's like, if I start over, I could just do it over and over. I could start from zero every day with no problem.
Hey, so Puello, I'm gonna take a page out of your book, and I'm gonna stop trading and go do Pokemon Club with my kids. So guess what? When I get home, I'm coming back and I'm gonna continue fucking trading.
Do your thing, Pippin. Hey, more power to you, bro. It's always good. You know, that's the beauty of it, man.
I just want to learn, man. And the only way to learn is to skin your knees, bro. And the more I skin my knees, the less I skin my knees, bro.
God bless you. I pray everything goes great for you. And you feel me? Like, there's never any ill will, but for the most part, it's like it's the same reason like why Richard tells it, or why people speak from their experience, because they know they've recognized one way of living, and then they recognize another. And there's benefits, and there's also drawbacks. But if you feel like the way you see things is a benefit to your life, bro, and I can never push that down. You feel me? So respect to you, my brother. Like, completely.
Bro, I appreciate it.
And regardless, you feel me? Like, trading is still very great, because if it wasn't for trading, I wouldn't know what I know now. It's just, maybe there's different routes you can take, and what those are, we're figuring those out. The education is still developing, because
the more I trade, the less I trade. The more I trade, the less I trade.
Yeah, like, for example, like, I really want to help people.
You're right.
Like, look, personally, bro, I really want to help people understand the financial world without having to dive into trading. Because I feel like if you can do that, you can remove people from a lot of pain. So that's where I feel like my education is focused, where I really want to help people kind of get there without having to go through the bullshit I had to go through. Because ultimately, like, yes, it did give me a lot of good things, but I feel like life could have been better had I just focused on one thing and not deviated from the one thing that was the best thing. You feel me? That's just the way I feel about it. But once again, difference in opinion, other stuff. Nonetheless, yeah. So I appreciate you.
All right, guys. I'll see you.
Hey, man. I hope you have a wonderful day. We're going to do the Pulse Chain 24-hour live stream. If you can get on for 5 or 10 or 20, 30
I'm
minutes.
there, bro. I'm there.
Either of you guys. Like, I know you'll be busy doing your shit, but like, yeah, guys, Pulse Chain 24-hour live stream. I don't plan on making many moves other than keeping my security as tight as possible. I gotta go.
One love.
Be easy, my G.
Yeah, I don't plan on doing too much other than keeping my security as tight as possible. So I'm willing just to be on stream for most of it, and it'll be a good time. I got Justin.
I'll
Justice
join the
Hill's
rest.
coming on, NFL dude on the Ravens that loves Hex. We got Super Hex Wins coming on. I'm getting all these guys that
Hey,
won't come
boy.
on normally to come on then.
I was trying to help him find a watch. He's been looking for a watch. He posts about it every day, bro. And these guys, bro,
That guy is addicted to watches. He's addicted to good times because all he does
he
is
loves his watches.
chilling, running around, having a good time with the family. And he always nails it with the social media on Hex. Like he just gives you the straight percentage. He's like 38% on the year, this, that, and the other. Puts it right in your face. Like
I love his content. His content, honestly, like I started seeing it organically on TikTok. I was like, wow, like this thing's working. I mean, probably because I'm also searching for Hex or like crypto related shit, but nonetheless, like it started appearing more often, and I was like, damn, this is fire. It's better than it's almost like programming your TikTok. You got to be careful what you're watching too, because you can program what like shit that you don't want to see on TikTok. Think about it like this: kids in China, they don't see what we see on TikTok. Their algorithm rewards them with other videos because it's the shit they like to watch, like whatever they like to watch. You know, I'm not gonna fucking say it like I know, but kids over here, they're addicted to dances and shit. That's not what they're doing out there. You know, I mean, it's China. I don't know if that's the best comparison either, but think about it from any other country, South Korea or like anywhere. It's the same.
I want to ask you a question about PulseX
What's up, bro?
And Cake. I'm sure you were around
And
when
Cake?
Cake was doing its thing.
Pancake swap.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like when that came, because I was checking out the price charts on that stuff yesterday. I was just researching, looking at shit, and I saw because I was comparing the top 3 price charts that people don't look at very often. I was just doing like a little side video or something, like and one of them was Cake, and the price chart was absolutely explosive. And then I looked at everything and I realized we are dealing with something that's absolutely dangerously close to Cake, if not just better. The sell pressure, because this is what basically I've been learning about and thinking about a lot lately, because I've been just trying to add everything up. So the one problem with Hex is that it inflates Hex and then people sell Hex, right? Like it's like you get extra Hex to sell to keep your principal, and that's like a negative externality.
Inflation is also delayed. So you got to remember, like that inflation you don't touch that inflation until your stake ends. So yeah, technically big stakes are getting big amounts of Hex now. But realistically, there's even bigger stakes getting even more Hex later. And those stakers probably won't even want to sell that. So, and that's all delayed. You don't see that for a very long time. So that buying pressure from now till then, I mean, yeah, who knows what price will be. Like,
right. But I just think in general, the cool part about Pulse X that I really like is that the sell pressure comes from a different coin that you earn. Right. So like
Pulse X. Yeah.
They're not selling the Pulse X. They're selling the other coins, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. That's powerful. Like that game theory is next level. That game theory is next level.
Dude,
I'm gonna be very real, bro. Like
Pulse X is gonna go.
There's still a lot of, like, for example, I've been on PulseX and I've done my best to like figure out how to get incentive token, all this stuff. But there's a lot of stuff I'm still like not fully like an expert on myself. You get me? So there's that. But I do not understand the system and how it works. And I'm focused on the things I personally want to do with it. Like me personally, I want to stake. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be providing liquidity. Probably won't. But I want to find the most effective ways of earning APY. That for me is key. So whatever is going to get me that, I'm going to put most of my energy towards those things so I can be pretty much relying on that APY ideally. That's my strategy right there. Just using
imagine if there's game theory on the incentive token. Imagine if there's built-in game theory we don't know yet about the incentive token that they're like, because people ask that question a lot because that's the one thing Cake doesn't necessarily have. The incentive token, people sell it and it's great. But imagine if there was some like mind-bending game theory for the incentive token.
Well, there's people that are going to definitely drop or airdrop coins to people who have incentive token. Like there's that whole that opens up a big world, bro.
Oh my God.
People want to leverage the platform to build off of a new platform, like in the holders of that platform, or at least the actions of the holders on that platform. Like, if you want to create a DAO, you can airdrop money to people who have money in a DAO Maximus. You feel me? So the idea is something like that. You feel me? Like something in that relation, it's going to attract a lot of eyes. Is it going to be good? I don't know, but it's free money. You can dump it if you want. and then buy more of what you want.
Well, the
Hex.
cake, that's what I was saying, the cake price chart and everything. Like, if you really look into this stuff, like, so many people made so
Where is it
much.
at? I actually haven't looked.
Hold
BSC,
on.
bro, for me, did you go deep into BSC
No, I've never
when
been
you
on
got
the
in?
chain.
No, I didn't do much either, but I never liked it. I don't know why.
I've never been on the chain. I just look at price charts because I'm new. So I'm just like, what was going on when I wasn't around? You know, like
It was quick though.
what
It
were
was
people
quick. It
doing?
was,
You know, like what?
bro,
And
scams.
this
That whole
this was
that
so
whole thing was
explosive.
scams. BSC was all scams. Let's be
Yeah, but
honest, bro. It was
that's just a
all scams.
representation of the platform being cheap, in my opinion.
It's a representation of the culture on the platform, and you don't want to have that. Like,
That's true. That's
people
true.
look at Binance differently because of it. Binance
I
might be doing some really good things, and they just think of all the shit that happens or has happened on their chain, and they kind of give it that same negative, like look. So it's kind of like when Bitcoin was being used on Silk Road. Like, hey, it's not the best use case, but we know it has use case. Over here, people are using it for scams and rug pulls, but hey, we know it works. It's being stress tested to the max. You get me? Like, so in a way, it does create some type of building block, like a foundation for people to want to use it, that's why it's so popular. Ultimately, people like to use it for other things. But I feel like right now, using anything other than Ethereum, knowing that the Pulse chain airdrop is about to happen, is like a detriment to your project. That's just the way I feel. I would rather hold something that someone paid for and gave us on the Ethereum network, as opposed to like, oh, let's get it on BSC, then we'll do it on here, and then we'll do it on there. Nah, it's too much movement. I think with this airdrop is the most like, just almost, it feels real. It feels honest. It feels like, hey, look, you own it here. Guess what? This airdrop is going to give it to you there, and we're gonna be integrated. That opportunity over the past 12 months, because we're approaching July 15th, where we're May, June, July, so 10 months of Pulse chain sacrifice phase having come out. So that's pretty cool. Like, I think Ethereum's is that place. BSC, nah, not so much. And it's just the feel. Once again, the feel, the safeness. That's why Richard decided to build Hex on Ethereum. You feel me? It just felt safer. It had already been stress tested.
He
he
was just there. On
he
the
decided
ground,
to fork Ethereum, not.
Yeah, like I think that Ethereum is just so clearly the best option, right? As far as like we'll take the fee L, pretty much. Most of us would. For like, I'm not going. You think I'm going to Binance Smart Chain or any of those chains? I haven't done that, and because it's a pain in the goddamn ass, and I don't feel like doing it. Like, period. Like, and I'm a smart dude, and I still don't feel like doing it. So I don't care how many degens are bridging around the internet. Like, at the end of the day, like, which one of these is going to massively adopt the easiest way possible? And Ethereum is the easiest way possible, right?
Easiest, I mean, well, easiest, I guess, wouldn't be the right way, because Ethereum's been through its bullshit. Like 2015, Ethereum comes out, and then there's like, I think there was like a bug or like a whole bunch of shit. Like Ethereum got hacked. Then you went from Ethereum to then Ethereum. Now you have Ethereum Classic. Then you have Ethereum, because they had to fork Ethereum after some shit happened. I forgot what it was, but that happened in Ethereum. So now you have this version of Ethereum, which is one we all use, but there's still Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic is the pre-fork Ethereum that people still buy and invest into, which not even in 2020, 2021, you had Ethereum Classic pumping like crazy. People were buying it. Why? Because it's just for the hype. A rising tide raises all ships. They were just buying it, not even knowing why. And no one
Everything was going up at the time, and it had.
I think people still own it. And I don't know. I'm not big on Ethereum Classic.
Can you explain Bitcoin Cash to me?
Bitcoin Cash is a fork of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin holders were given Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin Cash was an improved, quote unquote, version of Bitcoin. Just a little bit of a different, I guess, code. I don't know exactly how it worked. I knew when it came out, some people got it for free, and these are some of the first airdrops that ever happened. Like this is where the airdrops kind of came to be. They've developed over time as to like that kind of a fork giving you extra tokens, and then you claim those tokens. Or now, with Ethereum, you had Uniswap. You're able to claim those airdrop tokens, and now here we have it with Richard, where he's giving you an airdrop, but by just switching networks. Kind of crazy different ways of these airdrops. That's how airdrops have evolved.
What are the problems? I want to ask you, what are the problems with, in your opinion, centralized ownership in general? Not centralized like banks as much, but like centralized as the person who owns most of the shit.
Centralized, excuse me, say that again.
Not so much like the banks. Like I'm not talking about the legacy finance at all. I'm talking about like the person who owns most of the product. I mean, we don't. I
Or
don't.
like
I don't want to.
whales, like just whales in general.
No, but I mean, like no, like okay, like Daquan, for example, like Richard, for example. Like I'm talking
Mhm.
about the leaders of the coin that have like the legitimate most.
Yeah. Well,
What is the
centralization
problem that could
isn't bad.
arise in the future? Like I always think about, possibilities and stuff.
Think
I
about it
be
like this,
thinking
bro.
like,
You know how Sam loves Tesla so much?
yes,
It's not just Tesla. He loves Elon. Like he trusts Elon. You feel me? Like,
true.
and Elon runs all this shit. Like no one can really tell Elon what to do. In a way they can, but not really. Like he's doing his fucking thing. Like the guy has ideas, he's executing. He's very calculated. He's doing what he says he's going to do. Um and at the end of the day, when you look at results, results speak for themselves. And so when you talk about all these other great businesses, like if you look at Andrew Carnegie, the Rockefellers, like bro, these are individuals who created empires out of industries. These are individuals who people trusted. People trusted this one man. These certain individuals. Everything has been centralized all our
I
lives.
trust
Companies have
Richard
been
and it
centralized.
scares me.
Everything. You
I
need
trust
someone that
Richard
you
and
can
it scares
trust.
me.
Or you need code you can trust at this point. Even if you're shifting the trust from the person to the code, whatever it is, there's still someone who developed the code. You got to trust an individual. It comes down, bro, we're still a human race. Like we can't just make this fucking coin be the thing that everybody trusts. Like at the end of the day, we have to and like trust someone.
I
There's
trust
someone we have
Richard.
to listen
I
to.
trust Richard because he
You feel
never
me?
moves different.
Yeah, I think I trust the person, bro. You feel me? Not
Yeah,
just
he
an
never moves
idea.
different.
I trust the person. Like I trust like bro, like Richard, like that shit to him twerking, bro, on that fucking video.
So
Bro, I
funny.
was fucking dying, my guy.
That's
Like
so funny.
you don't understand how hilarious it is to see someone who is at that level that and we look up to just be that real of a person, that honest. Like he just fucking twerks because it was funny to him and he doesn't give a fuck what you think or who the hell you are. Like he just did it because bro, that's comfort.
He's
That's
like, send it over
human.
the internet. Don't send
Bro,
it
that's
over the
real
internet.
ass.
I don't
Like
give a shit.
that's funny shit, bro. That's some real shit. Like that's just fucking hilarious. So I don't know, bro. When you're just happy and you're doing things for the good reason with a good cause, your life speaks, bro, through you. You feel me? So I don't know, man. Like it
You're
just
a
feels
kind of
good. It
guy
feels
that
good to trust
feels
someone.
you feel a lot of stuff out, right? Like emotionally, it seems like too. Like when you're
Yeah,
thinking
I
about
guess I
stuff
would say
spiritually.
I'm very emotional, but I'm also very calculated. Yeah, yeah. Like I'm someone who's really like I love believing and like I love believing. I love faith. Like I have a lot of faith. I'm a faith-filled person. You feel me? You got a faith-filled friend right here, my man. You feel me? Like I have a lot of faith. There's just someone I am. You can't take that away from me. But I'm also a very real person. So I know when something I feel like isn't gonna work out personally, I trust my gut. I do trust my intuition. I realize and I calculate what's around me. I'm just not in this fucking world of, oh, like everything is, positive and able. Bro, life will hit you in the fucking face. It will. And this positive thinking shit, like it's not enough sometimes to get you out of some things that you need to be a real person about and just talk to people about. So once again, dealing with ambiguity and like meeting people and all that shit, that teaches you stuff like this. That's how businesses and how companies run. You just meet great people, you have great conversations, you can trust people. So when you meet someone that you don't fuck with, you don't fuck with that person. But when you meet someone that you really do rock with, that damn, this is a cool guy. Like at least from what I know of him, like I can build this, I rock with this person. And then that's where great things happen. So with Richard, it was kind of like that because he had nothing to take from us. It was just everything to give. And I'm someone personally, bro, where I feel like I can take from him on that because I'm someone who I've always felt like I've always given. And even though there's people in my life that I've taken from and I'm grateful for them. And these are people in my family. For me, I got to give all credit back to them. Like if it wasn't for these individuals, I wouldn't be where I'm at. But at the end of the day, it's like I've also, with the things that I've been given, I've given even more of myself to people. You feel me? Like I've never been just someone to take. And as someone who gives without any expectation of return, before I even met Richard, and then seeing someone who thinks the way I think, I'm like, wow, like this
I
is
agree. I totally agree.
it's the vibes, like how Marco
I
said, it's the
literally
vibe.
agree with that 100%. That's exactly how I feel about it. Real quick, breaking news, guys. The Terra blockchain was officially halted at a block height of large number. There's the link right there. Terra validators have decided to halt the Terra chain to prevent governance attacks following severe Luna inflation and a significantly reduced cost of attack. Sounds like They're just stopping the shit because they can't stop getting arbitraged, basically, because their system is a failure.
That hurts.
It hurts, man, and I'm sorry, guys, and it's as true as day in hindsight, right? I'm not smart enough to pick apart, but I was even onto this a little bit. When those guys came on, I'll tell you what, the only thing I thought about after was I'm glad I'm in Hex because there's not that much counterparty risk. That's the only thing I thought about. I was just like, sounds great, and if that works out, that's amazing. But like, this shit's not turning off anytime soon. Like, and they had like banks and corporations tied to everything within Terra Luna. They're on the ground. They have companies and websites, guys. You can go to these companies. They are in China. I mean, they are in Asia. They're all over the world. And they hold the vaults of money, and they're just companies. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that people, and the bridge is this thin, bro. In and out, bro. This thin to get in and out. I was in a chat with 900 lunatics the day that it froze, basically, the day that it got overclogged, like the minute. And they were like, my money, every once in a while, every 30 minutes, a dude would come up and say, I made a transaction, send. Like one person would, and everyone else was like, my shit's halted. And they were just like,
shit.
They were just like, I'm not even fucking with it. They're like, I'm not even fucking with it. It's over. And this was like at $40 still.
Yeah.
And people are still telling everyone to buy Terra Luna.
Yeah,
Dude.
that's wild.
And they're saying it's the best trades they've ever made. This is the best opportunity. These guys are absolute scumbags. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, no, I mean, that money's going somewhere, and it's just going in the pockets of the learned. From the unlearned to the learned. That's how it goes, bro. And like at this point, let's be real. If you're gonna take an L this big, might as well learn from it.
Mhm.
Don't just fucking feel like a victim to the world and be like, oh, I lost all this money. Yo, look at the circumstances. Like you're on one side of the trade, there was someone on the other side. How can you be on the opposite end of that stick? Like figure that out. Don't just fall victim to being fucking wrecked realistically, because this shit can end your career right now. Real talk. Like anybody who's holding Luna, if you're listening to this, it can really just feel. This can be one of those things that can make you feel some type of way. To put it lightly, it will make you feel some type of way, and you just don't let it.
It's either going to put you under mentally, or it's going to spring you forward mentally, right, Puella? Like you're going to let this help you, or you're going to let this haunt you. Because when I got hacked, the notion is just to shut your computer and just leave and just say, I never went in. Or you can use that kinetic energy that comes from a situation like that. You can use it. You can actually acquire it and use it to whatever you're doing positive. Because at the end of the day, no one's coming to save you. So why don't you just start working?
Yeah, save yourself. Save yourself,
it's freaking
family.
Crazy, man. We're going to go.
Don't be a victim. Be a hero.
Crazy,
yeah. Now, but once again, it's just another example.
What are your feelings in general? Like overall market sentiment? What can you tell?
Once again, I've seen this happen. I've seen a lot of. This isn't the first time I've seen a lot of people lose a lot of money. I've lost a lot of money. I've been a part of a scam. Big Connect. I lost money. You feel me? That was all I had at 18, 19. So I know what it's like to lose what I had. You feel me? And
were
so
it's buying back into BitConnect at the bottom.
No, everybody was same idea. They were trying to get out. Because the idea of getting even into something like that after it's already falling would be crazy. But it's like now they're actually creating this narrative of, hey, let's get back in. And so it's kind of feeding more liquidity into this exit, this massive exit, enough to get some people out at least. But like it's not the first time I've seen it, and it sucks, but you do got to learn from that shit. Once again, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. Like just let it sit. Chill, hang out, and then figure out a way to get your bread up.
Pulse Chain is coming out shortly. Where do you think this can change a couple of the? Obviously, you can't sacrifice at the moment, so guys, don't do any nonsense like that. This is absolutely closed, locked. Do your own research, blah blah blah. But what you've seen projects launch in a bear. You've been around. You've owned the coins. You've looked. You've seen this happen from someone who hasn't. That would be me. What? Like people tell me all the time, right? Like things can blow up if they launch in a bear. But in your experience, as someone who's maybe seen these things, just like lay that out for us a little bit. What does that look like if you've seen it?
Well, Ethereum dropped 70% when it launched within the first month, I think. So, and this was in a bear market, I believe, 2015. I would have to go back and check, but it was some time frame within that. So that went down. it's not necessarily to say that this is going to go down, but it's the same thing. Like, we're looking at the past to predict the future. Like, I can speculate as much as I want to be like, this shit's going to go up. But let's be real. People might just want to keep dumping it. People might just need the money. You don't know how many people sacrifice that aren't going to be in the same financial state that, even have the same idea. Let's be real. Like, not everyone thinks the way we think, and you got to be very honest about that. Not everyone thinks the way you think. Not everyone's down to have diamond hands. There's people that got to sell some off. You can't hold that against people. So yeah, so it's just let the money do what it's going to do. But then find opportunity within that. Once again, like, see what's going to happen and course correct. Right now, if you're doing something, keep doing it until you don't have to do that anymore. And then you got to do something else and be okay with pivoting, because you have to be very nimble and look at the situation. So, like, for example, throughout those years, 2017, 2018, right? 2017 was a year of the Bitcoin peak. I had a bunch of altcoins. I had maybe $4,000 something dollars, something like that. It turned to 14K, and then the market came back down and I broke even, right? But I didn't know what was going on. That was my first bull run. Then we have now in 2021, 2022, things are way different. You get me? Like, this is my second bull run. I've figured it out. Those 4 or 5 years of learning and understanding that that would have been possible, I've accumulated and I've focused on the future, right? So this year was a little different financially for me, but that's the idea. Like, it's going to take time. So if, like, right now we're still going through this time, you can't rush it. Time is going to take time. That's why that time frame for me is 2024, 2025. Focus on that time frame. Figure out right now, while the economy is going down, because it's going to probably keep going down. Like, while shit's hitting the fan, shit's probably going to keep hitting the fan. How can you continue to make money, be a better person, figure out your shit, and have a safety net for your family? Like, right now, you got to be saving cash, putting money in your bank account, figuring out how to get money. And that's it. That's my opinion. That's what I think you should be doing. Why? Because when things are at the bottom, that's when opportunity is there. And that's when you need to be cash
That's when the
heavy.
men are made. That's when the real
That's why do you
guys-
think everyone that bought real estate, right? Think about it like this: sold real estate and is sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars cash. Apple has stupid amounts of fucking cash. Apple is going to be one of those companies that's going to take off in the next 10 years. Because if you look at their cash reserves, they have so much cash that they can buy up anything and anyone they want when things are at the floor. Any piece of real estate, any company, whatever they need. So focus on what these companies, it's the same idea. You need cash. If you want to build your business, that is yourself, stay cash heavy, wait till things hit the floor. That's my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice, but in my personal opinion, when things are doing like how they're doing now, cash heavy. And then when things go up, once again, or when things are at the floor, you accumulate.
Right now, I'm super
That's
cash
good.
heavy.
Be cash heavy, bro. It's fine. Like, and that's what you need to do right now. You don't got to be, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, people are just trading for fun. Like, they just do it for the fuck of it. Like, they just want to be in the market. They just want to be involved. There's no reason for you to be touching the market right now. Stay in your cash. Yes, it's inflating. Yes, it's this. Yes, it's that. If you have an investment like Hex that you can actually rely on, which we do, if that's something you feel like you want to put money into, by all means, right? Like, that's where maybe not all of your cash is going, but where most of your cash is going. If Hex goes to 7 cents, so you're telling me you don't have $1,000 to put into it? You don't have 2,000. You don't have a little bit of money to put into Hex when it falls to 7. That's a good opportunity. And when it gets to 14 and you have the 1,000, because then at 7 you were like, fuck, I gotta get money. Now it's at 14. You're buying at 14. That opportunity cost is so much different. That's 100% return right there on your investment.
At 10 cent for the economic mass to get directly back to the all-time high, we're talking about a 5x just to break even. I mean, a 5x from 10 cents, right?
That's a massive
and that's
opportunity
how I think about it, because Wendy's taught me to think about it like that. Wendy's looked at me and he said, Scott, you're on a 5x. Every dollar you put in is $5.
Mm-hmm.
And he just said, I don't care if you steak, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, because he told me he was doing nursing 24 hours a day, like when he was plebbing it up like I am. And he was just, and he was just putting money in crypto. And I tell people I'm plebbing it up, and I tell people that I'm trying to let them know my experience, right? I'm a 28-year-old man. I've experienced a lot in my life. I was making a lot more money before I quit my job, but I'm telling you, my life was losing meaning quick, very quick. I promise you. I was making like, $1,100 a week, $1,200 a week, if not more. And that was a lot for the time, right? Like, I was feeling good. And me, I'm low overhead always. So that was good for me. I was feeling good vibes. But I was going out every weekend and I was breaking even because I wanted to be Mr. What's up? How's everyone doing? You know what I mean? And now I don't give a fuck about that. So I'm breaking even anyway, just because I don't care about the social scene like I used to. So literally just by making one minute change in my life, I could quit my entire job and still have the same proportional value in my life. But I can now study all day long.
Yeah.
It's so dope.
You did the math.
did.
Toshi was talking about math. You did the math. That's what you got to do. Like, it's just your circumstances. What are your options, bro? I respect that a lot. That's kind of how it played out for me too.
RH told me about time.
I like that.
RH taught me about time. And that's when it really clicked for me, right? I was working 12 hours a day away from my house. So I was out and about. You know what I mean? I was I was selling shit, doing all sorts of shit. Away, driving, constant driving. And I was listening to Hex the whole time for years, or for the whole year. And you know what I mean? Like, I just realized I calculated the time that people spend in college, and this was just in my brain, plus the time they spend getting out of debt, plus the time they spend starting a business once they realize that's a jack shit deal. And I said, how about I bypass all of that? And I just start studying now and become an expert. And instead of saying, like, you know, it's just time, guys. I'm going to die. Me, Jim Rat, dead sometime. Could be tomorrow. Could be 80 years. You know what I mean? Could be 300 years with Richard's high intellect. And high capital. Yeah. And so, guys, just realize, like, put yourself in the winning position before you win. I'm already won. I've already won.
You already won. You're 100% right.
Anything. There's no one that can walk in my front door and tell me one fucking word, or I would get in their face and tell them to get the fuck out, because no one owns me anymore. No one. And I was in a business where I was the majority owner, and I still felt owned by the customers. I felt owned. They owned me. Customer service owned me because you know me. I lost you.
Was it like it was like a customer service job, like every day?
Well, it was like I was selling a product.
Like, where'd you work? It was like a customer service,
the product, and dealing with the customer, and like I was just doing everything. Like, it was just a small business, like in my area.
Yeah.
But like I was the guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it was working, and so it's specific. So I don't want people digging through all my shit, but like,
you're good.
But yeah, no, I decided. Everyone called me a crazy Richard Hart scamming you. What are you doing? I said, Richard Hart has nothing to do with this decision. This is about time and value. This is about me giving my life an opportunity to do something that I never thought I could do.
Dude, at what point in the process did you like value the T-share? Like, not just Hex, because I know like, for me, for example, like I didn't value the T-share until I knew what the T-shirt was. I was like, whoa, wait, what? You know, like. There in my experience, like I was at one point very newbie. I was just, okay, I have a good coin and I can stake it and I'm making money on it. But I didn't really understand what the T-shirt, and when I did, I was putting everything into it. Did that happen from day one for you, or was it like a weekend?
Well, I staked right away, right? Because I was listening to Motley. I was involved on Twitter. I just started. Bitcoin was going from 65K to 57K, and I had a bunch of it. And I was like, this shit's going down, clear as day to me. Like, overextended. Overextended as far as, this is how I do things. We never knew anything about the market, and I went to my local gym, very popular gym, so there's people everywhere, and just talk to people about Bitcoin and Ethereum and Shibu for like 2 hours, I would know exactly where the market is. So. I would never have to look at a chart. I wouldn't have to look at anything. If they're mentioning
once my barber started talking to me about Shiba, and like,
you're like,
I was like, yep. I came back. That was what happened when I came back from Colombia, which was last year, mid-year. So that was probably when I guess Richard called his top, pulse chain sacrifice, like during that time frame. And then that's when people really started hitting me with people around me, people that once didn't give a shit, now were talking to me and trying to engage with me. I'm like, yeah, this market's going down very soon. Give it a year.
Yeah, guys, there's risk in all of this stuff. Understand legislation is pretty wild. They can lock you in your house to an extent. So just understand, like we don't have 100% control. So we have to go to the software. We have to trust the software, and we have to trust Richard. And I'm sorry. Whoops.
Yep.
I don't give a
Hey.
fuck what anyone thinks. Oops, sorry about that language. I don't care what anyone thinks about me supporting Richard because I don't know Richard personally. But what I do know is he's very detail oriented in a space where there's no one telling the truth. That is a green flag for me. Financial incentive, green flag for me. I can dig through people's shit in 10 minutes and ruin their life usually because
Dude,
online, because it's just like, dude, your financial incentive is just up your butt and clear as day. Like everyone has financial incentive, but the way you present it to the world is what makes you a leader or a follower, right? Like,
facts.
are you trying to get people to buy something low hanging fruit? Or are you educating the people and punching through all that? Like with this show, I try to punch right through all the other YouTubers, right? Like I'm going to detail. I just want detail on this show. And if you want to talk about Pulse Doge or whatever you want, just go to Joke Channel or whatever. Like it doesn't matter. Like there's guys that do that kind of shit straight up. They're cool. They're fine. Go watch their shit. They love it. But on this channel, this is about getting better as a human being. I don't care about money.
Bro, but you know what sucks? Like now you can't even have a fucking opinion about someone because then their mistakes become your fucking mistakes. You feel me? Just because you just trusted someone or did something like, so it's like almost everybody, because you're afraid to get canceled or for everyone to, it's like, yo, let's be real, man. Like you guys are shitting on people for making mistakes. And this is one thing too, with this Do Kwon guy, like this could be a really big mistake. It could have just been a really big mistake, or it could have not. It could have been a big ass scam. Like I'm
calling you
honestly,
out,
bro,
Do
we
Kwon.
already
I
touched this
don't
subject.
believe it.
I know how you feel, but if this turns out 5 years later, this guy was like, yo, like I just didn't know. I didn't know. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do?
Dude, I'm
can't do
telling you.
shit. But now here's the thing: every lunatic now is canceled. But now here's my point. Here's my point. Now every lunatic is canceled because you trusted him. Like that's the fucked part. Like why? Like I get it, he fucked up, but are you canceled because you trusted someone who
Dude, the Bitcoin Vault
better or
I'm telling
did,
you,
bro?
per click rate
Point.
on the Terra Luna website, the Bitcoin News Vault was the absolute top. The tippy top when they dropped that Bitcoin Vault news. Come on, dude. They opened up the arbitrage opportunity while selling it to everyone as a good thing.
Honestly, bro, like I don't even know enough to look into it. But my biggest detriment is that sometimes I give a fuck so much about Hex and Pulse Chain and Pulse X that I don't even look at anything else. You know, and I do, and if I do, it's very like lightly. I understand it on a very basic level, but I do my best to not indulge in it because at least the old version. I mean, the new version of me wouldn't like. And this is probably like, you know, once again, year and a half, just different habits in buying and selling. And yeah, bro, like it's just you buy, like it's just, it makes you want to invest into something that you really shouldn't be just because you kind of did your research and you kind of like it. It's just a very newbie thing as opposed to just sticking to what you fuck with, bro. Like Tesla or whatever. Like Sam stuck with Tesla, gung ho 10 years, you know, maybe more. Bro made it off of Tesla.
Yeah, he crushed
like, you
it.
feel me? Like crazy. That's what I'm trying to do too. So you got to stick to stuff and not be out here bouncing around from one coin to another, thinking, you know, this shit's gonna work out. David, it's a Progress W Puello. Couldn't put the width. I guess it was too long for Twitter.
Guys, I'm gonna pull up my Instagram real quick. I'm trying to get people more active on Instagram in general.
Hell
My
yeah,
Instagram's
bro.
fly as
I
fuck.
think it would be really cool for people to. I don't really like my Instagram getting too big because, bro, Instagram is so easily duplicatable. You know how many fucking fake accounts I have of myself? I'm like a prototype for.
Would you ever just just verify it up?
I mean, I'd love to, but I
You
don't
can,
know
dude. I'll tell you how
what
to
I
do
would
it.
need.
It's not.
Bro, I got boys that are like, oh, yo, like, show me.
It doesn't matter nowadays. You don't need a lot of followers. It's just like more so you just have to like dox your shit, which is kind of fucked.
I'll look into it. I mean, I'm
seriously,
definitely
because listen.
I would love to get verified.
When you do this, it's not for you, and I'm telling you, it's changed.
Yeah, it's for other people.
for chicks. Literally, back in the day, if you had the blue check mark, you're just chicks are. Now it's different. Everyone with 5K subs has a blue check mark now. So
Yeah.
what it is it verifies you. Therefore, people can't copy you because you're actually an original.
Yeah. And that's my
document.
biggest issue right now. I'm being fucking. They're
Oh
manipulating
yeah,
my
dude.
shit.
Everyone in my friends list has been spammed by the
Every
Bitcoin
day, bro. I
money
have
guy.
someone like, hey, bro. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fuck. I made it.
So guys, GRC here. I'm trying to let everyone. I mean, this is just my normal life kind of shit. You know what I mean? So I like rock climbing and shit. So like, this isn't as much about crypto, but all my stories and shit are crypto. Like everything I post is just everything crypto, and I post all my links in there. And I post reels too. They're fun. The classic Michael Saylor. I do my workout stuff on here. I post all the shit on here, you know. But it's more so like this is for my friends and fun, like people I like to interact with. Eventually, it'll be bigger, but I'm trying to get everyone to make it bigger because what we can do is we'll just be there first, right? So our channels will get really big and we'll have a better influence because if this shit blows up in a bear market, like people are going to be eyeballs everywhere, right?
Yeah, facts.
What are
That's
you
big
most
facts.
excited about the next leg of this journey with Pulse Chain and PulseX? As far as like, yes, I know all the shit's there, but are you excited about what this opens up as far as community? Like we could actually have a real community now rather than like the Hex like built on Ethereum Nazi cult.
I think it's growing, bro. I mean, I've never really engaged with the community that heavy. Like this is I've been dropping videos and doing my shit, but this is the first time I'm ever really engaging with people deeply. And I'm positive there's so many people like me that have probably just never decided to because for whatever reason they're just sitting chilling, like they're just looking from afar, you know. But like that for like this whole kind of growth process in the community, kind of to your comment, it's growing. I feel it. I think it's here already, and it's just going to get even bigger. Because, for example, me meeting you, that for me kind of validates it. And then getting around more people that I find, you know, relatable and that I can get to know. Because at the end of the day, bro, I know how I make friends. I know the people I want around me. I don't want everybody around me. I don't need that shit in my life. Period. You know what I mean? Like I know people, but I don't need everyone around me.
My goal is to educate as many people as possible personally. Like everyone's fucking shit's so much different. Like it does so many variables.
To that point, like I think the community is growing, and it's growing in a very big way for people to like engage with people who feel like rock with them. Like there's not just one person, there's 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, however many people that are going to be on live, and you can just meet them, you know. Like for example, I forgot, it was I think it was a Roman, like when he hit me up
Roman
through
Dan?
Twitter. I think he's from Romanian Dan. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Dan. Yeah, like when he hit me up, I was like, dude, super cool guy. You feel me? Like little shit like that. Like it's just I don't know. It's just getting bigger. Maybe that's a product of me also becoming more involved. But I feel like that's already happening. One and two, I'm most excited, bro, about honestly, dude. Just I'm a little selfish here, bro. I'm just excited for like my life and like what I want to do because I feel like I've just invested a lot of time into educating myself into understanding what this is. I've applied the work and I've accumulated. Right, I've done what I've literally told you guys you should do in these points of the market. I put my money in, I've done everything. Now I just want to lay back and really just enjoy the fruits of, you know, the growth. And then build my life out, bro. You feel me? Get a house, do some cool shit, and then figure it out along the way. Like whatever other project comes from that, I would love to. But I feel like for years with the whole business, remember I told you all the network marketing? I gave a lot of time, bro, to the business and other people. And I honestly, bro, like I spent years, those were the last 4 years before my grandmother passed away. And I was working, traveling, like I was doing my life, but I would have loved to have been home with my grandma, not knowing that those were the last couple of years I had with her. You feel me? So like family for me has become a really big thing. And, bro, like I'm excited about that. Like really getting to focus on that and build on that from a genuine place and not be worried about bills or stressed about just all this stuff. Like I'm happy, bro. Like I'm genuinely like really, really happy. And that has me the most excited. Like, and if you think about it, excitement is just another word for grateful. Like I'm really grateful, bro. Whenever you feel gratitude, or whenever you're excited, it's because you're grateful. That's what it is. And that's why I
I'm
love
always
the
excited,
emotion
baby.
of being excited, because you're just grateful for life or in anything that
Well,
you're
when you're
thinking
not a
about that moment.
slave any longer, which it seems like you're not in any way, shape, or form. Me too. Like I was for a long time, right? I was a tower climber for a long time too, which means I built Verizon cell units on top of like 300-foot towers for a living. So like first of all, anyone that wants to build these node mesh networks that needs help, I can run a crew in your face. But no, seriously, we're gonna need that in the future in the Hex community. We're gonna need people that can have
I
like.
agree.
So I'm
People's
gonna be
talents are
like,
gonna
I
come out.
can deal with that shit. Like I know
Dude,
people
I
that.
hope I can learn how to code. I know I can. I hope that I can like really put my time and attention. Right now, that's why I tweeted about the words per minute the other day. I'm learning how to write right now with like the QWERTY keyboard, like the real way, not the shit way that I just kind of figured out throughout these past couple years. I'm doing that first. So I'm getting my QWERTY keyboard game up. Then I'm going to focus on coding and learning how to code with that way of coding. So if I can become as fast as possible with the keyboard and then learn how to code and understand that, I feel like it's a good stepping stone. So like in the next 10 years, bro, I figured this shit out, bro. I mean, I'm 24. By the time I'm 34, you tell me I can't fucking, it's like going to college.
We're on the
Same idea.
exact same page, dude. Literally the exact.
You see what I'm trying to say? So this is
same
where I'm at
page.
right now. Yeah.
Fashion Coder is coming on Monday to teach me my first session. I've already been prepping. She's teaching me live. You guys can watch this. Monday, Fashion Coder is coming here to teach me on the Maximus contract. She's going to show me how I can start learning, because I told her the same thing, and I tell everyone, I'm so done asking people. This is not about me being. All the freaking coders, they're like, you're trying to pretend you're smarter than other coders. I'm like, I am. Like, they're so fucking annoying. I'm literally like, I am. I didn't waste my whole shit coding. Like, I can do it now, right? But I'm not. At the same time, I'm just saying, like, this is not about my intellectual integrity. I could give a fuck what you dorks think about my intellectual integrity. I'm here to dominate and learn everything. And that means I trust me, if I could third party all of my coding knowledge to someone else, I would. But every time I ask someone a question, it's wrong. So I can't. I said, fuck this. Just like the YouTube thing. I said, I want to watch a Hex stream that I enjoy. There isn't any. I'm going to make one.
Facts. You got to pave the way.
I
And that's
appreciate your attitude more than anything.
I appreciate you, bro.
Your attitude's amazing. I'm excited every single day when I wake up in the morning, because I could be dead or not alive anyway. So like, this is amazing. Like at a baseline, this is absolutely incredible, guys. You get to wake up, walk around. You can work on your body, your health, very cheap. I'm going to be doing vlog videos showing people how I live for $800 a month, like a king, in my opinion. And well, no kids involved, no kids allowed on that one. Once you have a kid, it's more than that for sure. But guys, we're providing value here. This is what I want to do. I want to punch through a lot of this bullshit because I have the time to do it. And this is what I need to be doing anyway, learning this shit. So I can properly, I want to have a platform big enough where if someone's actually directly hurting someone, I can shut that down with my social power. Like I want to be able to, like, this is the code, call this motherfucker out, tag him up, thread it up, send it out.
Drop the hammer.
Just drop the hammer, just like I did on It's Joshua Jake. If you're watching this, I absolutely ruined your career, and you don't know that yet. But I promise you, I'm coming.
You don't know that yet.
If you mention my name ever again, I will not.
Who is that guy?
Just some dude with like 400K. Oh, so
exactly.
Let me tell you the story. Let me tell you the story real quick. I'll show you all the shit. You don't even have to look it up. So when the market was crashing, I was all over the internet. I was excited. I was thinking, I was just playing around. And so I was in a TikTok live stream on this guy I used to watch. It's Joshua Jake. He now has 400,000 subs.
Oh,
And he was
shit. I think I know who you're talking about. Okay.
So he's talking and he's like, drop your altcoin, right? And so I say, Pulse Chain, right? Like, what's up with you, like Pulse Chain, this, that, and the other? And he goes into this rant about how narcissistic Richard Hart is and all this stuff. And then I was poking around at him. So I said, remember when you recommended everyone buy Vector AI at $4? It's now $1 and it topped out at 21. And he said on stream, that was my best call ever. I tricked him. I was playing a little voodoo on him. I'm going to show you right now. It's freaking hilarious. Bullish, if you're there, can you pull it up? Because it lags on my end. It's my thread tweet still.
Where's Bullish at, bro? He needs to speak. That's my dog.
Yeah, Bullish. Are you there?
For real.
Can you present yourself to the people? They always want to see you. He might not be in the exact moment where he can jump on. But let me pull this up. He'll pull it up if he's in here. But seriously, so what happened after that? This dude followed me from TikTok because I was burning him, dude. I was just ripping him apart. He followed me. I have 4,000 subs on TikTok. He has 400,000. He followed me. This is how much of an impact I had on him because I was so true. It was so disgustingly true what I was saying. He followed me from TikTok Live, his TikTok Live. He ended it to the Hex Twitter Space chat. So he
started talking his shit.
No, he came in there. We schooled him on Pulse Chain a little bit. I told him he was a fucking sellout and kicked him out after like 20 minutes of telling him. But then he started posting all over the internet because he was so upset that I posted these threads, right? Bullish.
Yeah. Yo.
What are you doing, Bullish? You're playing with me. You can learn code in 1 year. Yes, I can, and I will. That's the cool part about being absolutely neurotically obsessed with stuff.
Sorry, I didn't mean to add myself. That was by mistake. But what's up, guys?
People want to hear you.
What's up, my dog? How you doing?
Everything's good. Everything's good.
When is your birthday? Is that classified?
It was yesterday. It was yesterday.
Really?
Happy birthday's in the chat for Bullish.
Happy
guys.
birthdays in the chat
Happy
for
birthdays
sure.
in the chat.
Yeah, let me post something on the gram, bro. Because
everyone get on.
Yeah, loving the conversation, loving the difference of opinions, difference in approaches. At the end of the day, everyone learns, and that's what it's about.
I totally agree, Bullish, and I just wanted to thank you again for all you do to help me and all you do in the community, helping people get better at projecting whatever they are trying to get across. Like me, I'm trying to have this show. You helped me. Absolutely incredible, guys. If you're not following Bullish Ox, I'm trying to pull up his link right now. That's why I'm not probably staring directly at the camera. But yeah,
thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. And at the end of the month, you guys will be seeing a lot more of me, because I'm not going anywhere.
let's go.
Yeah, I can't go anywhere either. I'm absolutely locked in on this for live.
Yeah, man. No, I'm excited, dude. This actually I'm really excited for the 24-hour live stream, specifically for that because I've never been a part of one, and so this would be my first. That's one reason. Two, I mean, I can just imagine the people that are gonna get on, the conversations we're gonna have. It's gonna be crazy.
So let's check out this thread that I made yesterday, or maybe it was yesterday. So
the next big thing.
Oh, this is the guy. Yeah, I saw this.
I'm not doing anything for Pulse Chain. I'm not sacrificing. Do you hear how culty that is? Everything Richard Hart touches is culty. I have to respect the dude for literally building a billions of dollars industry, but the man's a narcissist and like, dude, it's culty. Very, very culty.
Okay, so we stop right there. Stop right there real quick. I'm stopping it, so I don't know
I'm not doing
saying. Stop right there. Okay, but so the next part, I want to explain this word for word so everyone knows what scumbaggery we're dealing with here. Because I don't call people out that are half scumbags, guys. I don't mind those guys because they're just trying to make
only
money.
Fool.
Just the full scumbaggery, lying, and because at the end of the thing, he squeezes in the Discord and the NFT bullshit, of course. And I'm not saying it's all bullshit, but I'm saying like his whole message the whole entire time is different from his message at the end, right? So I hated that. I was like, this is lame. Like, I don't agree. And so a little bit more, hold on, be on Twitter. So the coin I brought up in the comment vector space is currently down from $20 to $1.13. And this was before the crash, by the way. This was before the crash, so I don't even know what it's at now. He just said this was his best call to date and worst mistake in the same exact breath. Let's check out who the alphas online are.
Coin vector space went from $18 to $1. Yeah, it also went from $3 when I first talked about it to $22. So that would have been literally a 100, not even 100. That's a 10x, not a 10x, but you get the point. Well, no, it's like a 7.5x. That was still one of my best calls to date. People don't talk about the 6 months it was up. They talk about, or the 3 months it was up. They talk about the 3 months it was down. And I got stuck holding. I held it too. I fucking held it. I didn't take a single dime, which was one of my biggest regrets. What's up, Chris? How you doing, man? Luna, should I diamond hand or will it crash, dude? I don't know, man. I don't.
Like you can't help that. You didn't take a
So
single
so
dime
his
of profit,
best
my guy.
call. This dude has 400,000 subs. I want everyone to really let this sink in for a second.
That doesn't count as a trade if you didn't take profit.
And he said this. I did not. I said 2 comments. 2. One was pulse chain, just the word pulse chain. The other one was what about vector space? And or whatever. I might have said a little more than that. I can't remember. But think about this. First of all, he lies to everyone about when he called it. You could see it roll off his tongue initially. He said it was 100x. His best call to date was a 7x bottom to top. Literally, and he didn't sell. It's at probably at 1 penny right now. These guys, and if you look back at his tweets, which I'm sorry I did, he was shilling the shit 9 days ago saying it's in a buy zone, it's pumping out, blah, blah, blah. Vectors, you're a piece of trash, dude. When you wake up in the morning, you need to reevaluate because I will let you on my team if you admit that you're a fraud. Period.
That's crazy.
Okay,
No,
so
it's wild.
And then, so what I kept going a little bit more, and he
Honestly, know anything about Luna's ecosystem. I just know a lot of creators of coin. Vector Space went from $18.
Hold on, sorry. Why won't it let me see the whole thread? Why won't it let me see the whole fucking thread, people? Anyway, doesn't matter. The dude was so upset with himself that he had to follow a dude with 5,000 subs into a small chat on Twitter and share his piece. And I was thinking about it to myself, and I said it would hurt.
He took it personal.
It would
well,
hurt.
when he took it personal.
Feel that way when you woke up, though. When you woke up in the morning, how could you?
Because he's a liar, and you brought out those emotions of the lie because he knows he's lying to himself ultimately. Because, bro, let's be real. Like, you told everyone, "Oh, buy here," and then you didn't tell them when to sell. And so technically, after it went down, that you realize, oh, this shit isn't going up. Now you're like, oh, well, you could have taken profit back there, but we're still holding. So it's like you're not really calling the profit zones, brother. You're just holding a position that's now ultimately down.
Down 75% from his initial buy.
Right. And so that's the idea.
And he said he didn't stake it. He didn't even stake it. And there's a function to do that, I assume.
I mean, it sucks.
And he said
if it was staking, it was probably a
ever.
fucking 38,000 APY for sure.
But I'm all about psychology, right? I'm all about psychology. And when he said off the roll of his tongue, he was like, it was 100x. I'm like, I bet that's what you tell everyone, don't you? And then he said, oh, hold on, let me think about it. Is it 10x? Oh, wait, hold on. Is it 7x? That was my best call to date. And as he continues to speak, he says he held it to $1. And I was like, man, your life is absolutely out of control. You're on here for the wrong reasons, and you need to reevaluate your life. And I told that to him directly to his face. And I told him to get the fuck out. I said, dude, when you wake up in the morning tomorrow, I want you to understand that this is not the way to do it, and you will die one day. I always tell that to people. It hits them right in the heartstrings. Hits them right in the heartstrings, dude. It does.
Oh, that's true.
No, it's true. You don't think about it on the day-to-day sometimes.
That's very true.
You get hit by a bus or 16.
Honestly, bro, like that hurts. That shit hurts. I got like fucked over by some guy I did business with not too long ago. And honestly, bro, it was like over like 3K. He did something he didn't do what he was supposed to do, and he kind of tried to get one over me. But it's this idea of just like, bro, like you say you're this honest person, you're this stand-up guy, but in reality, like you're just doing dirty. You know, you're not doing good deeds. And that feeling of fucking someone over hurts more than anything else because that's something you live with forever. That's almost like hatred. Hatred only hurts the person, right? That's actually sending it, not the one receiving it. The hater is the infected.
I saw my girl at the gym yesterday.
The same idea with liars.
She dumped me. Dude, I hadn't seen my girl since she dumped me. I saw her at the gym last night for the first time in like 2 months or something. So let me tell you my experience emotionally since it was like caught me off guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just lifting. I was just listening to
Oh, you saw her at the gym?
Yeah, so I went to the gym at a different time because I've been doing a fitness challenge because I wanted to go 2-a-days sometimes because whatever. And so I go and I'm doing my weights, looking absolutely fucking disgustingly ripped. And she came right by me and I gave her a little half hug and I said, I hope you're doing well. But my immediately feeling was negative. I immediately felt, and I evaluated this in the moment. So I was evaluating this as it was happening. I said I immediately wanted her to feel negative about me. So I wanted to talk to another girl. It was initially my thought. It was my initial gut trench initial
Like your reaction. That was your reaction.
I'm gonna talk to the hottest chick in here right now and piss her off. And of course I was sitting there and I was like, hold on just a second. Like,
yeah, that was your reaction, my brother. That was literally your reaction, and this was your response.
Doing well.
Facts.
How dare I? Like we all, you know what I mean? Like I always get like that really quick. I'm very
the crazy in me almost came out, but I held it in.
And then I was like,
funny.
you know, by the end of the night, I was thinking, I was reflecting, and I was like, I hope she's doing well. Like I was thinking about her, and I didn't message her or anything, you know, like try to keep it separate. But like, I was like, living this life, you have to control yourself only.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to control anyone else. What she does is her business, not mine.
Emotional intelligence.
So just understand. That will make her respect me. She respects me. I promise you she does. I don't have to ask her. There's zero. She dumped me, but she respects me 100%. Why? I never said another word to her, and I said, I hope everything works out for you as best as it can, and I wish this could work out in another world, but it's just not happening right now for me. And, she blocked me on everything. That she wanted to get away from it. But at the same time, that was the first time in my life that I ever had broken up with somebody and respected the exchange at the same time and not lied, because I usually would have just lied.
You're a man, bro. You're grown up.
Dude, love talking to guys like you. Don't matter if you're 24, 34, 84. Everyone's got life experience.
Dude, I didn't just go through it, but it's something that I had to go through that shit. Like so you're being transparent with me. I'm gonna be transparent with you. Me and my shorty, bro. Like we met each other in college. I honestly tell myself like I went to college to meet her, because I went to college for other things, but ultimately, bro, like I joined a frat and I met her, but we were just fuck buddies. You feel me? Like we were just intimate. You feel me? During those years, so it wasn't anything crazy. But yeah, like, and then over time we did get together, but then there was this time after COVID where things got really rocky, and it was something where I had to fucking be the man and grow up and take a stance, because ultimately, bro, it was this emotional response that I was getting from her, or this logical way of thinking that I needed to be for the two of us. Because like, I'm not saying it anyway, but women are more emotional. They're more emotional beings. And so, for me during the time, which is emotional for the two of us, I'm a very emotional person. I told you guys this earlier. Like, that moment, you had to be the man. You got to be a logical thinker and think about what's best for the two of us. And ultimately, that was where I went to Colombia. We broke up, we took our separate ways. The Colombia, me going kind of happened after, but it was that moment where as a man, I needed to be like, yo, this is what's right, not what's right now. You feel me? And be that person, hold firm.
Yeah, you're right.
Or be on some bullshit, which I have done. And like, you make those mistakes, but bro, when you notice yourself not, those are big steps as a man, bro. It's like, huge, wait, pat on the back, my brother.
Because what would I have done 2 years ago? I would have left. No, I would have talked to the hottest girl in there. I would have left. I would have then messaged her, and then I would have made her feel conflicted in order to get her to start chasing me again. I would have done that. I mean, it was almost automatic.
Like real talk, like the only way to explain it is like high school, college shit. You feel me? Just shit that you do like when you're fucking around with girls and you don't really care. You're on your, you're doing your thing. So I feel
I'm not like that anymore though. Like I really want to start in. This isn't about females or men. This is not about neither. This is about in general. I just want to be intentional. There's no reason for my ego to be overinflated, because why? Who's gonna what? Who's gonna say what? Nobody cares, bro. I have to punch harder than that for myself, for my self-respect. I'm a man. I'm sorry, all the women. I don't know about being a woman. I ain't a woman. So I'm a man. I have to step up for me. This is the only way I'll feel fulfilled in life. Otherwise, I'll always regret. And I know myself. Some people don't give a fuck, but I know myself. I'm pretty neurotic. I'll always say, Scott, you could have pushed harder, dude. You could have pushed harder, bro. And you could have been more honest. And you could have done it a different way. And you could have benefited the entire world and had everyone benefit along with yourself at the same time. Just like Richard Hart did, right? Like Richard Hart said, we can do this to benefit all parties that are involved. That's rare. It's like, it's usually one-sided deal, right? Which it is one-sided if you think about it. But if you, comparatively, like he could dump whatever the fuck he wants at all times.
Yeah, when you figure out like when you go out and you experience something else, and she goes out and she experiences something else, and you guys come back together and you're two different people, talk to me then.
Yeah.
Because that reversion of your relationship, it's yet to happen. You feel me? And that could be something that can thrive, but you don't know it. And so people end up fucking that opportunity up by not giving them that space today. And so you never get to experience the beauty of what, knowing someone for years, separating and then coming back together and realizing like, damn, like this is something that could have worked out. Immaturity destroys relationships. And so when you end up in that good place and you keep it healthy, bro, I think it's good for the two people. Like there's no like toxic culture is fucked. Like did you see a Euphoria?
I see. Yeah, I was actually. She's the one who
Bro,
wanted me to watch that. The whole
So
time I
that
was
shit
like,
is
"This
so
is hard to
fucking
watch."
toxic, my guy. Toxic as fuck. And there's a lot of stuff, sensitive subjects in there, but
Oh my God.
man, like some of those characters, like, and people really do feel like personalized with those characters. And some of those characters are very emotionally, like I think what was the girl's name? The young lady that they had sex with her boyfriend or some shit like that. I forgot what her name was, but yeah, so crazy stuff, bro. Crazy Sydney Sweeney.
So I watched that show
yeah,
with my
crazy
ex-girl
shit.
actually, and I honestly, the whole time I was talking to her, I was like, "You should stop putting this shit in your brain." Literally, because she was neurotically thinking that I was flirting with other girls, and I wasn't the whole time. I never was. I never
Yeah,
was
bro.
once.
And
But
that's
she
what
was
they're feeding
watching.
themselves. They're
But she was
programming
watching
themselves.
shit. But I had done that in the past, so she knew my like past too. So
But let's be real though. Aside from watching it, you're not only reaffirming it, but you also believe it a little bit. Like you came from that shit too. Like people were like that, bro. I can imagine myself in high school, bro. I would think of myself when I was in high school, when I was in college. Like it's not the person I am today, but we all had those tendencies. You get me? And they're still there. But when now you're fighting them because you're growing up, where that shit doesn't fly anymore in the real world. Like real adults don't deal with that shit. Like that childish ass behavior, there's only certain people who tolerate it, and they're probably childish too. But when you meet a man and you meet a fucking woman, you're not dealing with these little petty arguments and this stupid shit. Like, and that's why real women, well, quote unquote real, your version, right? And then real men, like that masculine version of a man is maybe missing right now. Or not even maybe, but it is. There's not as many men, like fucking real men, tough guys, like men as there was before. And that has a lot to do with this, like, you ever heard of that saying, like good times create bad times, and bad times create good men or something like that. Like, yeah. So that whole idea, well, that's really what it is. And I mean, fuck it, if you get offended, I mean, I don't know, just be an alpha.
Yeah, there's no reason to get offended when you are the leader. When you're the leader of your life, there's nothing to offend
or
you.
when you at least believe in yourself and your abilities, you don't get offended by other people's remarks and other people's comments. It's not.
You can, but it's just like it's more emotional, and you're just like, dude, these guys are all just low hanging fruit.
I like what Sam said. Sam said it best. He was like, bro, when someone tells you, something in Spanish and they're trying to, they're insulting you, you don't understand it. So those words don't mean anything. But when they tell it to you in English, you put meaning to those words. So it's the same idea. If I give those words meaning when you tell me something and I start to believe it, I mean, yeah, it's very easy to believe something you hear every day. Let's be very honest. But if you tell it to me once and I automatically take it as personal, I don't have that strong internal, like almost strength of being able to just stand up for myself and who I am as a person. That's what people mean when I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want to do, or I don't know what I want to be, because they're very conflicted internally. And I've felt that way. Maybe we've all felt that way, but that's really what we're talking about, like, but now you say you would hate to do it because, you can revert back to those ways. It's very easy to get back to that person because there's people who have been that way and lost it. Maybe they were in a relationship, a woman changed them or their partner changed them. Now they're a completely different man because they stopped doing all the things that they did before they got into the relationship that made them the man that person was attracted to, and they changed by the end of it because that person changed them, or in a way they changed themselves. And so, yeah, man, just be yourself, because when you're yourself, you get the best version of yourself and you share that with other people.
Guys,
man, we're going off today.
Yeah, no, we're going off today, and we're going to go off every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. Crypto in the morning, guys. We're taking over the crypto streaming space in the morning. Guys, make sure there's a lot of copycat accounts. Make sure
if this was me. No, it's not me. And then I saw another guy asking about an influencer. Like I retweeted this Jim Rat Crypto that's having a Hexagon Fitness Challenge. There's guys impersonating him. So asking if this was me. No.
Just remember, guys, there's a lot of accounts that copy my effing shit because I have my shirt off in my picture, and it's a very, I guess it's a good business model or whatever for them. Like everyone who has a decent look, they like to copy and friggin' paste it. So just know, I'm not DMing you about shit, about Bitcoin, about trading, about mining. I don't care what bags you have. I don't care if you're rich or if you were in day one or whatever. I'm not DMing you about shit unless it's a StreamYard link. So guys, please protect yourselves. Child, let me see what he said up here. I saw him. Trying to launch my channel tonight, friends. Test stream announcement coming via Twitter and Telegram, DRC. Child, if you need some help, let me know. And guys, it's been an absolutely great day. I'll see you all soon. I'm going to play this outro real quick. Guys, make sure you're not buying Terra Luna at the bottom. I don't suggest that. And if you're doing it with leverage, you need to go do something else.
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker.
Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
Bought my hex from the fucking start. Point one every day we mark. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like